The week that we've all been waiting for all sporting year is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, but we've still got just on 48 hours before the eyes of the world will properly be firmly placed on Paris, which means we'll make the most of the free air that we've got between now and then, as we welcome you to night one of week 3 of term 3 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Monday Night Motorsport. Nice to have you along for the ride. Standing start from Daytona tonight. Cars already on the grid here. We've got no time to muck around tonight. 9 o'clock server time, a little bit further up the road because of that progressive and civilised concept known as daylight saving. Sunset has been gone, come and went. If we were running at real world time, we would have been running in sunset when the request was to run under lights. Brenton Hobson and Connor Nixon, the front row. Angus Lawford, Jason Spriggs, the second row. Jaden Green, Stephen Varga, the third. Tim Nicol, Law McKee, the fourth. And David Kirby and Kurt Chapman from row 5. We're not going to get time to run through the rest of it, I don't think, because the field is going to be all formed up here in just a moment. Buchanan and Allen from 6, Lear and Fitz from 7, Howe and Proctor from 8, Christensen and Stride from 9, Snedden and Horton from 10. From 11, it's Brooks and Griffiths. From 12, it's Baldwin and Robertson, and we will run through the championship points for you very shortly. Lights out, racing now. Good start, power down. Brenton Hobson gets the jump on Connor Nixon. These two pick up exactly where they left off last week. Nixon will slot in behind Hobson as they head to turn 1. So, as we get round 3 underway, there are 3 obvious points of interest here. 1, the venue, the Daytona International Speedway road course. 2, we've split the two series up. It is Super 2 in this split, Super 3 in a separate split. They're running in exactly the same conditions, but they are running their own race. And we'll have the results from that for you a little bit later on. And then, of course, as we see Nixon forcing the issue here in the early stages, I mentioned that it's the week that we've all been waiting for with the start of the Olympics, but in Sim World, it's Spa week. We're off to Belgium tonight, and you'll get sick of Spa by the end of this week because no less than 3 broadcast races will be coming away from Spa. 5 of our championships visit the venue this week. Brenton Hobson leads Connor Nixon onto the back straight for the first time. Jason Spriggs and Angus Lawford are swapped around. So too Stephen Varga, Jaden Green, Tim Nicol, Kurt Chapman, Ashley, Law McKee. The top 10. Kirby trying to make his way by. Here comes Connor Nixon on the inside of Brenton Hobson on the opening lap. Very nicely done. Nixon leads us for the first time through the dog leg. The bus stop. Uh-oh. Off goes Daniel Snedden. We've had a little bit of drama in the lead up to this race getting underway, folks. I'll let Adam Lavis elaborate on that for you in just a moment. 3 wide. You're going to see, hopefully, a lot of close side-by-side running and a lot of nose-to-tail slipstreaming tonight. The nature of racing on high-speed banking. It's not necessarily, what you'd get if you were running on the oval. Oh, Nixon with a lock-up at 1. The car just snapped left and right on him, and Hobson's pounced. Hobbo won't wait for a second invitation. It invites Spriggs and Lawford back into the fight as well. Nixon. Oh, look at the SMS work going on there on the back of Brenton Hobson as they head through the horseshoe for the second time. 1 minute 44s was about the pace in the earlier qualifying session and practice as well. So, if you're working on 1 minute 45 a lap, that's 3.5 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 laps in 7 minutes. So that's 12 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 12 and 21, 14 and 24 and a half. And then, of course, the run through pit lane transit. So you're looking at 14 minimum, 15 maximum tonight in terms of laps here at the Daytona International Speedway. Expect to see a lot of this dance partner work as they hit the back straight for the second time. Great to have you along for the ride. As I say, from next week, you're going to need your sports bar setup, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need more monitors than you own. You're going to have to rent some. It's a cater for all the sport we've got coming your way. The Olympics across 9 Gem, and also Stan Sport. And we'll be continuing broadcasting 3 nights a week for you here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Joe Baldwin, the first of the incidents on our replay here. Just 2 wide into the into the horseshoe, I should say. Good evening to you, Adam Lavis. Welcome along for the ride. We've got David Kirby sitting in the in the waiting room, in the green room at the moment, ready to jump in and give us some in-car comments. I'm just going to let the race settle down a little bit in the meantime. And here's Will Buchanan making his way round out of the infield. And that's trademark Daytona sort of racing error, that one. Mate, good evening to you. Welcome. Week 3 already. Jeez, it's flying by.
Yeah, it does that. Time flies. So 10 weeks sounds like a lot at the start, then all of a sudden you realise it's week 5.
Exactly.
But yeah, week 3. So 2 weeks in the can. So now to the point where if you've already had 2 bad rounds, you're on the no drop round list. So every round's a winner from here. So head down, bum up, keep your nose clean, get some points.
Exactly. And also as well, folks, you'll be happy to know that we did survive the giant tech scare on Friday afternoon. We're here to tell the tale, but there's a round of the IndyCar series to be rescheduled. It got lost in transit on Friday night. We're very lucky that it wasn't a broadcast night of the magnitude of what we have here with GT3 and Supercars, because that would be a nightmare for all concerned. However, the IndyCar boys will be back this Friday night, and I'm sure that round will be rescheduled somewhere later in the season. Expect a double header at some point would be my best prediction at this point. Now, there's Ryan Howe. All over the back of Blake Fitz at the moment. He's got Sam Stride for company there as well. I mean, obviously, yep, sure, a few people inconvenienced. Will Buchanan again, except a bit faster that time round. Still no less spectacular. Did well to keep it off the wall, sliding up the embankment. I mean, obviously, if it was, there's Connor Nixon still. Have a look at this battle. 5 deep now, 6-7 in fact. This is awesome supercar racing. You don't get this with the new gen cars. Down the inside, Spriggs under pressure from Lawford. Lawford having a look, Lawford having a lunge, Lawford going through. Lawford to third. Best of the forwards is Connor Nixon in second. But now it's forward 2-3 on the racetrack. 1:44.784 for Tim Nicol, fastest lap of the race. Yeah, we're very it's not convenient for the IndyCar guys, but we're very lucky that on a night like Super2 and GT3, where we've got over 100 different competitors in the server, yeah, far more people would have been inconvenienced if it was a Monday night issue, not a Friday night issue. So stand by for confirmation on that from Nick Fodiatis and co. At some point. I'll be back in the booth for what will now be round 2 this Friday night with Joe Baldwin from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More on that a little bit later. At a circuit that we're going to get sick of seeing this week, as if our iRacing competitors haven't already got sick of it, having done 24 hours around there over the course of the weekend. Brenton Hobson leads down the back straight. This is lap 4. Championship standings as they stood coming into this round. I'll just focus on Super 2 here. It was Brenton Hobson 130, Angus Lawford 95, David Kirby 88, Jason Spriggs 88, and 83 for Tim Nicol, making up the top 5. Where is Mr. Kirby at the moment? He's made his way into 8th place, but he's right in the heat of battle at the moment. Oh, off goes Mark Horton in 18th place. I've given Mr. Kirby about 7 minutes to ease into it here. We'll get to him in just a moment. Here's Lawford under pressure from Spriggs on the run down to turn 1. The pace and intensity to this one, David Kirby, quite relentless from the start. The pack backed up behind Brenton Hobson. Anyone could win this at the moment. Good evening to you.
G'day, mate. How are we?
Very well. You'd be happy after the Cowboys last night?
Oh, yeah. Like you wouldn't believe. That was a good win.
My mother was up me for the rent saying losing by 2 points sucks in relation to the Lions and Swans match at the Gabba earlier in the day, and that was an extraordinary spectacle, I must say. And I was able to return serve because she's a Bulldogs fan. What was that you were saying about 2 points, Mother? Yes.
Yep.
Twice in the same weekend, because Essendon also got done on Friday night with the same margin. Brenton Hobson leads this one. We've got you at the back of the train there, mate. What's the game plan when it's this tight?
Try not to lock the rears or spin out or lock the rears up like I just did.
Oh, no.
Yeah, give me a push. Come on, Lorne, give me a push.
That's it. And you kind of need that around here, don't you, mate? You're kind of relying on the push and the slipstream.
Yeah. So we'll see how we go. Just really got to stay in touch with these guys here. Otherwise, then I become victim to obviously Lorne and Ashley behind me. So if I can stay in this train, at least work my way up onto them, and possibly make, if we can get past Jaden, then we'll, move on to Vargs and see if we can move up the field a little bit. But I think, maybe saving a bit of fuel might be the way to go as well.
Across the start-finish line we go, and on the run down towards turn 1 once more. Oh, look at this! It's getting ugly down at turn 1. That was big. That was huge from Tim Nicol. Up the outside. Lauren McKee's thrown it off the road. And then there were 8 in the train. Now, mate David Kirby at the back of that train at the moment. We've got him in the booth here. He's got Ashley trying to latch on and catch the slipstream, but at the moment he's out of the tow range. There's Lawford being passed by Spriggs. Tim Nicol with the move, big send down the outside. Now he's trying the inside on Connor Nixon as well. Oh, he spun it! He's spun it! He's right in the middle of the racetrack. He's done well to get off the racetrack, and everybody did well to avoid him and not balk up behind him. That could have checked up 5 or 6 different cars, and now all of a sudden our mate David Kirby's right there alongside Tim Nicol trying to get a run onto the back straight, and all of a sudden Nicol has dropped 5 spots down to position number 8. And it changes so quickly in these quick fire races, David, where the field's so bunched up. Now all of a sudden Brenton Hobbs and Connor Nixon are 3 seconds to the good. Wow. Tim Nicol has the fastest lap of the race. That means nothing when you're down in 8th at the moment. You're log jammed at that point. You're just stuck in traffic.
Oh, it's good to get out of no incident points in that one, so I was pretty happy.
Very lucky. Very lucky. Oh, boy.
Who's in?
Ashley was the beneficiary. Yep, Ashley was the beneficiary of that, mate, because he went up your outside.
Yep.
Whilst you were trying to take evasive action there on Tim Nicol. Connor Nixon, Tim Nicol to pit lane this time by. We're racing below the yellow line here. Have a look at that. Trent Allen up on the high side. Down his inside is Blake Fitz, Sam Stride, Ryan Howe as well. That is Trent Allen. So you've got 2 of the Alpha boys there. With the Pacific Esports entry of Fitz and the Revolutionary Racing entry of Trent Allen, as they make their way down to the right-hander. 13:40 left on the clock. As I say, we're heading for 14 laps with no change, I wouldn't imagine. If we do get change, it'll be 2 or 3 seconds, in which case we just scrape an extra lap in. But I don't think the pit lane transit time will be short enough to allow that, if I'm perfectly honest, considering the time you've got to take to slow down, firstly, to whatever the pit lane speed limit is here.
88k now.
88 k's now, thank you. I knew you'd have that info on you. And then, of course, make your way back out onto the racetrack. And it's a fairly long pit lane here at the Daytona International Speedway. Angus Lawford sits 3rd, Jason Spriggs is 2nd, Hobbo's 3.8 to the good. He can thank Tim Nicol for the fact that him and Connor Nixon broke clear of the pack. Hobbo's now got to be mindful of covering Nixon off with the overcut here. Nixon's gone for the undercut, and not for the first time in this series. If you're just joining us, this is round 3 of the merch.tgsrci.com Super 2 series from Daytona, and there's David Kirby up on the outside.
Yeah, a bit of side draft.
And Ashley is going to pit lane, mate, so that's giving you the all clear. You've been released.
Thank you.
You can go like a scalded cat right now. Stephen Varga and Jason Spriggs just ahead of you. What did you make of practice? I mean, Seoul qualifying is a completely different kettle of fish. It's a completely different beast. But what did you make of practice out there earlier, mate?
Literally, I got on a little bit late. Had a few things to do getting home and everything. So jumped on. I'm like, ran a couple of laps for a setup wise. And I'm like, got to the race and went something completely different. So. Solo qualifying I'm very used to, so enjoy that. Actually having 4 laps across, or the opportunity for 4 laps across that 10 minutes is really good. I'm normally only used to 2, so have an extra couple of cracks at it if you need to. Very handy.
And if I'm completely honest with you as well, mate, it's a concept that's not foreign to a lot of you in iRacing. But different horses for courses. Some people like the rip, tear, rush, bust of an all-in qualifying. Others don't.
Yeah, obviously some tracks it would be nice to get a tow. Daytona being one of them. Being able to get towed around by a teammate or something. But really, when it just comes down to it, you've got the track to yourself. You're all on your own. You make a mistake, it's on you. It's not on, the car in front making an error and putting you off, etc. So. That goes out pretty good.
Oh dear. I'm just being reminded. Facebook memories just reminding me, boys, that and there's the like on the broadcast from me as well as I go to share it across to my personal page. This time 12 months ago, I had my appendix removed. Very happy to report that I'm in far better nick than what I was this time last year. Jeez, that was a struggle. And then the 3 days of imprisonment inside Ipswich Hospital, not much better, I must say. Brenton Hobson continues to lead this one from the front. He's on to lap number 9 of his stint. Varga, Spriggs, McKee, Kirby, Fitz and Snedden have all pitted this time by. That was a pretty sufficient stop from David Kirby too. 11.55 seconds. They're going to come back out right in the thick of it here. Connor Nixon, Angus Lawford, Tim Nichols caught back up. Jaden Green's there. Spriggs and Kirby are on their way back out. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Logjam stuff. And Ashley is going to slot in behind David Kirby. So Kirby's done well there. You've done beautifully, mate, actually. Got the overcut, made that work. And Angus Lawford's been passed by Connor Nixon as well. And you saw Nixon relentlessly blinking on the headlights there, saying, I'll lead this, you follow. Hurry up and get out of my way. But this is part of the reason why. It was a wide moment from Nixon.
And Angus was nice enough to lean back in. That's interesting.
Yep, very gentlemanly behaviour. I'm not sure I was being so kind. I was, Lon McKee. Lon McKee, hang on. Right there on Ryan Howe. He's got Sam Stratton behind him. In comes Brenton Hobson at the end of lap 9. That should mean that we're about 5 laps away from the end of this one. 9 minutes left in the motor race. 8 3/4 minutes is the marker that we were looking at as Brendan Griffiths comes in now as well. 8 3/4 minutes was the marker we were looking at for 5 laps, and we've got less than 8 3/4 minutes on the clock now. Hobson's out. Hobson's gone. Here comes Nixon across the line. Here comes Lawford as well. Hobson's got him covered off nicely. It's 2.5 seconds, but that's Hobson breathing comfortably at the moment, unless Nixon's got something to say about that. Oh, I tell you what, it's only a second. Now that Hobson's gone through that windy section of racetrack to rejoin partway through the infield, if only 1.1.
If Connor didn't make that mistake on the last lap, that would have been right on him.
And they could still be. Give it time. Give it time. Nixon's got good pace. Last time round, the fastest laps, Hobson 145.13, Nixon 145.15, Lawford 145.51. And you've got Jaden Green and Tim Nicol that have both belted out 44 so far, but they might have done that in the time. 45.0 for David Kirby. So, mate, I mean, you've got to be happy with that. You're right there on the pace front.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of just at the edge of the draft range here now too. So if these guys in front just fight just a little bit, it'll bring me up, and hopefully I can get to them by the end and make a move. But yeah, look, pace is all right at the moment. It's just a case of keeping it clean, really. We got 7 minutes remaining, about 8.5 minutes worth of fuel, so we should be good to go.
.650 on the clock, and look at that freight train of cars right now. So Nixon's in the firing line here, although he's just punched out the fastest lap of the night, 144.733. Lawford, Green, Nichols, Spriggs, all in the tow. And Kirby's held off Varga, Lear, and this makes up the top 10. Lorne McKee is 11th. Howe, Stride, Allen, Christensen to 15th. All the way back down. Oh boy. El Presidente didn't finish. That's unfortunate. And actually, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Adam Lavis, care to explain why Greg Favel's in race control and not out there on the racetrack?
So he's doing RC in the Super 3. So he's done some tendons in his arm, so he's on the injured reserve list for a couple of weeks.
Copy that. All right, that makes sense. I was going to say, it's not like him to miss a Monday night, but yeah, if he's injured, that explains it. But it's nice that he's still here, still present to look after
I didn't know.
Boys.
I didn't know if I was going to race tonight either.
What have you done to yourself?
Oh no, we had we raced in the official Spa 24-hour on the weekend. So
how'd that go for you?
Good. We were a top split in the Australian server, so started around 8-9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Finished P16, and our other car in that same race finished P11. So pretty good outing from the fish.
Very good outing indeed. And are you sick of Spa yet?
No, not really. It's a great track. We had 20 hours of wet track.
Oh wow! Yeah, right.
So it was physically was okay. Mentally, it was very draining.
I don't doubt that for a second. 4:45 clock here, so that's going to give us, as we cross the line to start lap 12, that's going to give us 3 laps to go. Brenton Hobbs at 1:44.437. So Hobbo's just come out and put 3/10 on Nixon. His lead is steady at 2.4. We've got this battle between Ryan Howe, Lorne McKee, and Blake Fitz for the final spot in the top 10 unfolding here. And that's Fitz trying to defend on the inside. McKee, oh, look at this. Howe's all over McKee like a cheap suit. They're all hovering on Fitz at the moment. They've got to be mindful of the fact that Stride, Allen and Christensen are within distance as well. Connor Nixon is still somehow holding Angus Lawford at bay, and Jaden Green as well. Nice to see Green back in the server. So Tim Nichols there having recovered from that early race moment to get back to 5th, and Spriggs is back in 6th. Biggest movers include Lear and Fitz up 4 spots, Stride up 5. That's it. Nothing else to brag about. All single-digit stuff.
I'm in trouble here.
Uh-oh. Kirby's in a bit of trouble because he's got Stephen Varga all over him like a cheap suit. There we go, down the back straight. Varga to 7th. Kirby relegated. You heard it from him himself. I'm in a little bit of trouble. Not under the course. Oh, here we go. Blake
right,
Lorne McKee up the outside. Lorne McKee into the bus stop. Beautifully done. Into 10th. Displaces Fitz. Fitz will want to try and force the issue on the inside on the embankment. Have a look at this. And he'll get the push along from Ryan Howe as well. Kirby's moved up to 7th. Varga back to 8th. And Lorne McKee has now been pushed out wide by both Lear and Fitz and Howe. Exactly what's on with Varga and Kirby. They're 3 wide in the battle for 10th. Oh, they've tangled! Lorne McKee and Ryan Howe have come together. Unbelievable. Wow. What about that for a moment? We were waiting for it to all unfold and unravel. And it was just a little bit of sideways draft and movement from Howe. Got a cross up into the face of Lorne McKee, and McKee had nowhere to go. Howe gets turned. Kept it off the wall, extraordinarily so. Kirby's got back to 7th. Varga and Lear 8th and 9th. Fitz is now 10th with Stride, McKee, Allen for company. And Howe's the one that's unlucky in all of that. Adam Proctor retired on lap 6. Joe Baldwin on the opening lap. Never got back to that point. So still got 21 out there of the 23 that started. Everybody else that was in the server, well, there was one tech issue, but everyone else had to jump over into the Super 3 split. Caught out by the fact that we had to split them up this week. 1.5 minutes on the clock. White flag in the air. Let's go one more time around from Daytona. Oh, off goes Snedden. Daniel Snedden's gone off the road. He'll get back on, but he's now down in 18th spot. David Kirby's in 8th, trying to get 7th back. He'll have to try and find a way by Stephen Varga to do it. This is what happened to Snedden.
Wow.
Oh, dear. What's going on for you, Mr. Kirby? Because we're watching replay, mate.
Yeah, have a look at turn 1.
Copy. All right.
Turn 1, lap 14.
You're in 7th at the moment. You're in 7th at the moment. Let's have a look at this. Oh, off. Yeah, off went Vargs. And then 3 wide. Oh, are you two kidding me? Well, look at this. And Varga, unfortunately, lost a couple of spots in all of that. But Kirby, the beneficiary, up to 7th. Lorne McKee's off the road briefly. And now down in 12th. And at the front, all hell breaks loose behind him, but look who finds his way to the top step of the summit once more. Brenton Hobson, ladies and gentlemen. Already a commanding leader in this championship and about to extend that lead. A little slip from Connor Nixon during the pit window was all the buffer that Hobbo needed to play with. And as the clock expires, we hit 25 minutes. He's in the final corner. You can see the checkered flag at the top of the start-finish rostrum here. It will wave, and Brenton Hobson will be 3 from 3. Just clinical once more. Oh, the road course at the Daytona International Speedway. Hobbo and Synergy Sim Racing do it again. Round 3 of the merch.tgsrci.com Super 2 Series goes the way of the 88. Nixon in for second. 0-2 has been 0-2. 2 weeks in a row. And Lawford, Green, Nickel, Varga. Spriggs got in for 6. Varga, Kirby. Oh, Curbs, you've lost out by 700ths of a second.
Yeah, Vargs clued onto what I was doing that last lap.
Yeah.
I wanted him to get me at the bus stop again.
What a magnificent bit of gamesmanship there. And the slipstream that we used that to his advantage. He pitched at the post. You come in for 8, Lear and Fitz 9 and 10. And then Fitz held off Stride and McKee. Allen in for 13th, Christensen 14th, Horton 15th, Brooks, Howe, Snedden, and then Griffiths, Buchanan. Chapman was a lap down, and Proctor and Baldwin retirements. Oh boy, what about that for a race? Hard in the early stages to you had to wait for clear air to come your way, mate, and as you say, thankfully you weren't caught up in the incident there for Timmy Nicol. In fact, thankfully no one was caught up. Nicol even managed to get back to 5th place, no damage on the car whatsoever. But that was all that was the only moment, the only opportunity that Hobbo and Connor had to break clear of you guys, and they weren't going to wait for a second invitation. They took the first.
No, of course. Yeah, it was sort of kind of picked the wrong way. I saw him sitting across the track, and it's like, and then everybody just checked up, and yeah, lost a couple of spots, and then I think probably went maybe a lap too late on the stop, because I did, when I come back out, I did lose touch with them all a little bit, but it was a really good run with Stephen Varga there in the end. Like you said, a little bit of gamesmanship coming into the bus stop that last lap, but he was up for it and played it exceptionally well. But that was a good fun race, a good way to kick off a Monday night.
Exactly, kick off a Monday night indeed. We're loving it. We've got plenty more where that came from for you too on the platform, gentlemen, Sim Racing Club, ladies and gentlemen. And another drag race fest coming your way next week, mate. We're off to Monza.
Monza, yeah. I'll start Monza tomorrow night. Same as last week. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Haven't turned a lap there yet because obviously been preoccupied in the GT3 at Spa. But looking forward to getting in, doing a few laps and everything. So, yeah, should be fun, especially, coming out of the Parabolica and down the front straight.
Look at the showmanship from Brenton Van Gisbergen here. Magnificent. The concrete, the burnouts were coming from the car being parked up against the concrete embankment. Very, very nicely done. Brenton Van Gisbergen. Oh dear. Hey, David, with regards to, I mean, we're just about to have Jaden Green and also we've got Connor Nixon here as well. Before we let you go, I mean, again, consistency is the key in this championship fight. I mean, at the end of the day, given what we know about how tonight played out and that defining moment that got you guys split up with the front two there, is that as best as you could have hoped for?
Yeah, look, like I jump in on a Monday night. It's all a bit of fun. Let's go racing, and it's good to be racing around other people. And look, I'm going to be honest. Since I last raced, gents, there's some pretty quick guys in here, which is good. And you know, if we can just get maybe a couple more just to run up there with Hobbo and give him a bit more of a run. Connor's easy to take. You know, it's not hard.
Thanks, Kirby, mate. Appreciate it.
I see you sitting there.
Good evening, Connor. We'll get to you in a moment.
Hello,
Thank you.
But yeah, look, it's good. Like, you know, and the field sizes, what do we have, around 20, 23, 22 running tonight just in Super 2. Obviously, the server's been split after the first couple of rounds. So it'll be interesting to see the numbers over on on Super 3 as well. To see, obviously, you know, if everything's gone the right way. But that was good, hard racing. Everyone was quite fair. Yeah, I had a good run there with Vargs. I think Jaden Green as well had a bit of a tussle with Ashley. Lorne as well. Made it a little bit hard there at the start, but we're able to pull away and yeah, it was have fun. Look forward to next week.
Indeed, we will, mates. Looking forward to seeing you back on track next week, and of course, looking forward to seeing what Monza brings for you. In the meantime, tell us, what was it like at Queensland Country Bank Stadium last night?
Oh, it was fantastic. Whenever the doggies lose, it's always good, but if we can do it at home, and it's good. You know, we've got what, 4 or 5 home games I think left now, out of the rest of the season. We're away. I think we got Tigers away, and then obviously last round of the season we got Bulldogs again down there in Sydney. So everything else is home. We got Sharkies next week. We had about 16,000 there last night. It was a good crowd and a good win in the end, and we'll definitely take the 2 points to put us back in the 8.
Indeed, and a very hotly contested race for the 8. At the moment, still about 13 teams in contention for 8 spots. So it's going to
be tough. But we need for and against. We need.
They're very disappointed at the end of August.
Yeah, Broncos will be one of them.
Oh, the rails are falling off there. Don't worry.
Back to the glue factory.
Well, that being said, let me be perfectly honest. I'm very glad and grateful that the Swans have had a 12-point lead for the longest time, 8 points or whatever it is now. Considering that they've lost 3 games by less than 2 points in the last 4 weeks.
That's right. Geelong will get you in the finals. Fun.
Oh, mate, if we don't turn up to the MCG on the last Saturday of September, like we did 2 years ago, I'll rescind my scarf. I dead set. It is that they may as well have not even got on the flight.
You're in Queensland. You don't need a scarf.
Oh, we did yesterday. The wind factor, mate. Fair dinkum. It was the wind's been bad down this week. What was funny though was seeing people getting around with beanies on. I was like, hang on, let's not. We're taking the proverbial there just a little bit. Hey, great to catch up with you guys, mate. Thank you, appreciate that. Thanks for
not a problem, mate. We'll see you next Monday.
Comments as per usual. At one of these points throughout the course of the season, we might have a race quite enough where we can get you to take us for an onboard lap.
Yeah, sure.
But we haven't been lucky enough to do that yet. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll start from the back one night, and I'll just start from the pit lane and do it that way. Nah, all good. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Adam. Well done, Hobbo, Connor, Angus. Great job. Yeah.
Excellent. Good stuff. There he is. David Kirby. Well done. Connor Nixon, I'm going to get to you in a moment. We've got the top 4 in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the top 4. 3 forwards in the top 4. The odd one out, the race winner. And another W in the column for 1B Hobson, with a little bit of a tip of the hat to SVG with the post-race celebrations there, I noticed, mate. Well done.
I didn't realise till I got to turn 3 on the oval that I still had enough fuel to do a wicked skid. So I was like, well, we better make the use of it. We don't need these tyres again. So I don't remember the last time I did a burnout in a supercar, so that was fun.
Indeed, indeed. Talk us through that, mate, because Connor kept Jonas right up until the pit window.
Well, he did, and if there was ever a track that you really don't know what you're going to get for, like, you can't drive away from people here typically, and like if you stay in the draft, you stay in the draft. So I didn't really know what I was going to do, to be honest. I was sort of like, do I pit? Do I just go long? Like, I didn't really know, and then Connor pitted from behind me, so I took a punt and just did the opposite and did an extra few laps, and I wasn't really convinced that would work very well, but I'm not sure if he had some issues. He'll probably tell us in a minute or not, but I was surprised that he came out still behind me at the end of the pit stop. And obviously on a green tyre, managed to put in a quick lap and break the draft there, so I could sort of just cruise to the finish and not get any off track. So in the end, it worked out quite well, but that's not quite what I expected. I was surprised and pleasantly so, because that was always going to be a tough race to win that.
Well, you were selling it like that last week, but I backed you, Hobbo. I didn't think that you were giving yourself anywhere near enough credit, mate. Very nicely done. Hey, what's this? Did I read correctly? Did I read correctly somewhere in the social settings last week that you've got into the world of podcasting? Is that right?
Yeah, grabbed the microphone and
Good boy.
fumbled my way around through a podcast this week. So yeah, hosted my first show. So it was actually good fun. I mean, I'm all about new challenges and doing new things, and I talk enough on my streams and everything. I may as well do it into a microphone as well.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. All right, well, make sure you source that one out, ladies and gentlemen. Go and find Hobbo on socials and find the link to that and give it a listen. I must admit, I saw the link, but I've been out and about over the course of the weekend, catching up with a school friend and going to the AFL and other stuff, so I haven't had a chance to tune in yet, mate, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know. Now, as far as tonight was concerned, that moment for Timmy Nicol really was the blessing that you and Connor needed, wasn't it? Because up until that moment, you had 4 or 5 people on your tail. Timmy spins at the right time and backs everybody up, but you and Connor managed to escape that. And then, as you say, there was one moment for Connor in the pit lane that cost him, and we'll hear about that from him in just a moment. Sorry, in the pit window, not in the pit lane. It was on the racetrack, but it was after his pit stop before yours. But the pressure was on from the outset, and you did enough to withstand it with a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, well, like up until the guys behind us there had that moment, it was like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't when you're the leader, because if you go as fast as you can, you're just burning up tyres and fuel, and the guys behind can just cruise around and save fuel and undercut you in the pit stop. So I was sort of just rolling around at the front, trying to save fuel while I was the leader, and of course they were all bunched right up behind me, and I didn't really know what to do. There's not really much of a strategy you can do at that point. You just got to try and do your best. So I don't know if it was because I was not going all that fast that they all tangled up behind us or not. If that was the case, I feel bad about that. But whatever it was, I did notice a gap, and as soon as I saw it, I put my foot down and started to go, and it was around about that time that Connor decided to dip in the pits. So I just stuck with it, and yeah, the strategy was what it was in the end. It played out okay for me, but yeah, it's such a tough track. These sort of tracks where it's just all draft are really, really tough. I've got other races in the supercar this week at Monza as well, and it's a similar concept, and it's all aero and fuel saving and strategy and stuff like that, but it's just really hard to pull away from people. It's really difficult.
Indeed. Now, you mentioned Monza. That's the next challenge. But are we going to see you in GT3s or Porsches or something else between now and then?
I'm not going to do the GT3s tonight. I've got a couple of things I need to do, and I'm going to put some laps in at Monza because we race there in the Pro Series this week for the supercars. So I haven't done any practice there yet. I'm only 2 days away, so I need to go do some practice there. I'm not going to race the GT3. It'll be a waste of my time tonight anyway with the Spa 24 Hour on the weekend that everyone probably raced in, and they're probably all up to speed, and I've got no clue what I'm doing. So I'll give it a miss this week, but you probably won't see me again until next Monday night. But I should be back then for hopefully the double.
Exactly. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. In saying that, there's something about GT3 racing and you that I don't know if it necessarily still eats away at you or haunts you. The last time I recall watching you in GT3s there, I think you had a lose through Eau Rouge with a couple of laps to go. Did you not?
I don't actually remember the specifics. I do remember, I think, twice getting beaten in the GT3 championship in this league by the narrowest of margins. And if I remember correctly, it was Gaderick that got me the first time with a mid-season bop that I had the OP car for the first half and he had it for the second, and he nabbed me in the last race by like 2 points. And I remember that. I don't remember crashing it at Spa, but I mean, that probably happened.
I was going to say, I'm sure it did, and of course we famously remember you getting poleaxed by something invisible on the racetrack at Road Atlanta in a TCR as well.
Yes, memorable moment, that one.
still gives you nightmares. Very nicely done. Hey, bad luck that we won't see you in not for the 90-minute race for Spa, but we're looking forward to seeing if the practice pays dividends when we get to Monza next week. I mean, what are you noticing about, well, firstly, Daytona at night, how spectacular that is. Secondly, any recent updates or any recent investment at your end in terms of sim rigs and whatever that's helping you out at the moment? Or is it just that you are so comfortable and so at peace with these cars, mate?
Yeah, well, a couple of questions there. I guess the night thing at Daytona, that's cool. I haven't done a night race in, quite a while. I don't race GTs and stuff like we know, so I don't do, overnight endurance races and stuff like that very often. I mean, I race a bit of dirt, but even the dirt stuff that I've raced lately all seems to run in the afternoon. So I haven't seen a night race in yonks. It's been ages. So it was cool. It does look good under lights. A good spectacle, like you said. So that was a cool change. For the sim, I haven't got too much different in my rig. I do have a nice set of new headset that Logitech, my friends over there, helped hook me up with. So that's a cool bit of kit, and I've enjoyed that. But other than that, my sim rig itself hasn't changed much over the last 18 months. It's probably familiarity more than anything for me at this point with these cars and the setup that I've got. So I mean, I ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Well, that's exactly right. And unlike GT3 and other cars that they tweak and tune, they probably wouldn't have touched these cars for a while.
No, the supercar hasn't had any significant changes in a long time. I mean, we did have the damage model come to it just recently with all the other cars. So that's probably been the biggest change that we've seen to this thing in a good couple of years. So that in itself adds an extra element of, chaos and mayhem. We've had a couple of big crashes in this car since that came out. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, they haven't changed a whole lot. The theory for these things is pretty static. Most of the people that drive them all the time got them tuned in a certain way, and not much has changed over the last couple of years. So yeah, much the same each week when we turn up, I guess.
Indeed. All right, mate. Very nicely done. Looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table at Monza. Go well.
Cheers. I just want to just a quick shout out as well to Connor and the guys that were in the race there. That was good fun. And of course to the league as well, just for putting on the series for us. It's cool to be able to come out again on a Monday night and have some fun. So I just want to throw a shout out there to the league, and obviously you guys as well for putting on a broadcast. It's good for everyone to be able to tune in.
Indeed it is. We love putting the broadcast on, and we love the entertainment that people like you bring to the table, mate. Thank you for that, and we'll see you this time next week.
No worries. See you guys.
If you're just tuning in too, by the way, you may as well get your sports bar treatment up and running right from the outset tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because Nine's got an Olympic doco on at the moment, the race to Paris. Make sure you go and have a look at that. They're replaying it tomorrow at 12 o'clock local time in all markets as well. And basically from 7:30 Wednesday night, wall-to-wall Olympics and sports coverage for 2.5 weeks on the home of the Olympics, Nine's Wild World of Sports, and we'll obviously complement it, the Olympic coverage with our ongoing Term 3 coverage here, Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays as well throughout the Olympic Games. Connor Nixon, Jaden Green and Angus Lawford are here as well. Connor, well done. But a little moment, and probably some generosity from Angus, actually, it's fair to say, to let you go. Meant that you got away with second tonight, mate. Yeah. But that moment also could have been the defining difference between getting to Hobbo after his pit stop and not.
Oh, mate, everything went wrong tonight. I had Sam Blacklock in my ear tonight telling me a few things, and yeah, just everything went wrong, mate. Honestly, I was 3 seconds slower in the pit stop because you guys with your servers, the time and the laps is completely different. So you kind of got to take a gamble on the fuel sometimes.
Connor.
Yeah.
If you want to take up that line of criticism, all complaints to be directed to my director and producer Adam Lavis. So I take no responsibility for it at all.
So yeah, I took a bit too much fuel, missed the pit box, went into the pit lane too slow, locked the wheels there. Oh mate, everything went wrong. But look, the car was a rocket ship. I mean, yeah, the car was super quick. We probably should have had Hobbo tonight, but look, it is what it is. I mean, we kind of threw a dock together just before the race with the Drop Bear boys, with Corey McFarlane having a set that's about 5-6 years old. So yeah, we just tossed something on and gave it the old, holy cross on the back of it and gave it a whirl, and that was about it.
Dear idea. Hey, it seemed to go fairly well for you. I mean, the early stages were relentlessly hard fought, mate. I mean, you had to shake off Angus, you had to shake off Timmy Nicol as well. I think somewhere in there, Jason Spriggs might have also been battling. And Project 36 just pointing out that it's great to see Jaden back up front. We're going to hear from him in just a moment. We've got Chris Stark standing by as well. But from your standpoint, the intensity of that first few laps, I mean, yep, you had Hobbo right in front of you. You were eyeing him off at one point there. You were trying to take the lead away from him. But then all of a sudden, you also had to contend with everything happening in your rearview mirror, and that line was just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had Hobbo first, and it was kind of like what Hobbo was talking about. It was tick for tat. If you go in front, you're burning so much fuel and tyre, but then you got the guys behind you. But I trust Angus. Angus is a really nice guy. I've raced him at Brazil, and yeah, he's got some really good respect. So I didn't have much of a worry behind me, to be honest, and not many dramas. But when I saw Tim in my rearview mirror get bigger and bigger, I was like, oh yeah, turn in and just see what happens. So. Yeah, look, the guys behind me are really good. Like, it's really respectful racing. You don't have massive dive bombs that you see in Scops or anything. It's the guys are really respectful around here. So yeah, it's good to see. And yeah, look, it's like Hobbo said, it's just good to come out, have a bit of fun, and throw something on the car and give it a something to whirl. And yeah, that's about it.
What was the mindset? What was the planning behind going early on the pit stop, mate?
Yeah, well, we had that incident behind, and I kind of thought, well, this might be a good break just to go in, and go from there. But yeah, obviously, like I said about the fuel, I just didn't know much fuel I needed to put in the car because I've been doing a lot of oval racing, so all my calculators were in gallons and all of the American stuff. So I kind of had to go off the iRacing auto fuel, but yeah, I put too much in. I think I had like 1.6 more gallon in the car, so look, there was way too much fuel in the car. Yeah, and then all the pit stop dramas. So look, probably should have had a better battle with Hobbo at the end, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think he was running a little bit more wing than I was as well, so look, it would have probably been a drag race at the end, but yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, go well next week, to be honest.
Thoughts on Monza before I let you go, buddy?
Oh, if it wasn't a PG stream, I'd give you my honest thoughts. But look, no, it's another Daytona. Don't like it. Okay. Crappy track. Yeah. So yeah, no. Look, like I said in the last stream, I like tracks that you can go hard racing and not worry about fuel and tyre. I'd rather go and race a Bathurst or a Sandown where it's just go hard and see where you end up. With these tracks, it's just sit behind the driver and just follow what he's doing. I probably should have just followed Hobbo, but I thought, let's have a gamble, let's have a shot. And look, if it went well, it would have went really well. But if it went wrong, and it's what happens. You lose 4 seconds in the pit lane and ends up to be about 6 to 7 seconds. But luckily, just had some pace on the track to wheel it back into about 2 seconds or a second in the end. So that is what it is. But yeah, not looking for a championship, but yeah, want to get I need to get a win because we've got pace, but yeah, the drop by car's always good, but yeah, it's always the operator, never the car at this point, which is kind of nice.
Always a spacer issue. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, mate, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Good luck for the rest of the week. We'll catch up with you next Monday night.
Too easy. You should see me on Thursday, by the way, and shout out to Sam Blacklock. He needs to get back in this car. So yeah, get back in the car. But no, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the stream.
Excellent. Anytime. Just to answer a question that jumped up on the comments thread there, courtesy of Twitch, for Simo. No, stand by. GT3 coming up at the bottom of the hour, unless you're in central parts of the country, where it'll be at the top of the hour, of course. 8:30 Eastern time for GT3 Pro-Am this week for you from the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. A venue that we should be very well acquainted with by the end of this week. Jaden Green, good evening.
G'day.
Fourth place, mate. Well done. Nice to see you back on the grid and nice to see you back at the podium.
Yeah, it feels good to have some pace again. We had a big setup swing for the other boys, it was about half an hour before the race, so good to see it paid off for all of us pretty much. But yeah, it was a cracker of a race. It was hard. Like, everyone was fighting hard.
Well, at one point there, as I said, with Connor, you were trying to get by him, but you were contending with Timmy Nicol. You were contending with Angus as well. Plenty happening in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I wasn't really trying to fight with Angus. It was more trying to stay on his toe so I wouldn't get overtaken in that last stint. So, but no, it was good to be equal pace with Angus as well. So, and up the front.
You just nailed the point, didn't you? You just nailed the point of how important the slipstream of the toe is here at this particular circuit, and the same can be said for next week.
Yeah, well, it's worth about 6 k's an hour around here, but luckily I don't have to worry about drafting next week. I'm keen for Imola.
In 2 weeks' time, yeah, of course. If you're just joining us, have a look at what's to come, folks. I mean, we go next week to Monza, and then it's a European double. The week after, we, of course, go to Imola and then back to Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta will be well worth the price of admission. We love going there in any of our respective championships. It's always home to some top-shelf racing. How often are we going to see you throughout the course of this season, mate? We know it's not a full-time commitment for you due to work commitments and other things.
Yeah, every fortnight. So I'll make Imola. Miss Road Atlanta, which Road Atlanta is almost my favourite track on the whole of iRacing, so that's a bit of a bummer, but Imola's next best, so every fortnight from here, basically, I'll be here.
All right, very nicely done. Looking forward to that. We'll leave it at that because we've got about 7 minutes till cars will be on the grid at Spa, and we've got to have a chat to Mr. Lawford and Mr. Stark as yet. So well done tonight. Good showing. Got the old FORDs up there in the top 5 firmly. You, Connor, and Angus. We look forward to seeing you in a fortnight, mate. Go well.
No worries. Cheers for the stream, boys.
And Gus, welcome into you. I mean, seriously, the pace of the opening few laps of that race was relentless. Everybody trying to keep Connor and Hobbo honest, and then all of a sudden Timmy Nicol has a spin. Everybody, including yourself, did very well not to get checked up or not to bang in clang and wreck. And then all of a sudden, off you go through the pit lane sequence. You pip the rest of the pack around you and come out chasing Connor, mate. 3rd place. Well done.
Yeah, no, that was good fun. A cracker of a start on the race. It was very interesting because everyone was braking at different points, and I was trying to make sure I didn't brake too late and sort of come up and surprise the pack because I just want to stick in there. And when the rotation happened, I got on the brakes and almost pulled up in time, but then I got a bump from behind and sort of cascaded, but it wasn't enough to do any damage. But after that, when we seen Connor go into the pits, I ummed and ahed about going into the pits to cover him off. And I think it was 2 corners later, I had Jaden get in my ear and be like, hey, mate, if you want to go, well, I'll come with you. And I just figured, yeah, that would probably be a good decision. Decided to fuel the car slightly just from the fuel saving. And yeah, it ended up cutting it a bit close. I wasn't sure if it was going to go an extra lap or not. So the laps prior, we had to save fuel a little bit, which dropped me slightly off the back of Connor. I would have liked to have pushed against him a little harder, but the fuel saving is what mattered. I wanted to accumulate as many points as I can, and a podium's a podium in my books. It's a great start to the season.
Hey, stick there with me, mate. I've got to get to Starkey, and Josh Zuno's just jumped in as well. We'll get to him in a moment, but in the meantime, have a look at that, folks. There are the results from Super 3. Tyson Broad getting the better of Lockhart Brownlee, 1.8 the margin. Good gap back to Sean McClure, who just edged out Anthony Cuthbertson. Good gap back to Mal Powell. and Aiden Schultz, and then Chris Stark. In 7th place, Jack Humphries, Greg Spencer, and JJ Wallace, the top 10. Just got your message, Josh. Thank you. Not sure if we get an intermission. I'll do my best. And then on that subject, the championship points. Am I good to read Super 2 championship points out, Adam? 198 for Brenton Hobson, 144 for Gus, 130 for David Kirby, 129 for Jason Spriggs, and 126 for Tim Nicol. Connor Nixon, 110 points, but he, of course, did not race the first round. So the championship well and truly alive. And second to Hobbo's, nothing to turn your nose up though either. Angus, what are your thoughts on the first 3 rounds so far, and what you can do to build on that, starting with Monza next week?
I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, especially getting used to these very fast pieces of machinery. So I'm just happy that I'm able to keep in touch with the fast guys. It's been definitely experience, and having to push myself a little further than I expected, but it's been good. And next week should be pretty much the same. I'm going to try and come out with the same mentality of try and accumulate as many points as we can and try to keep up with Hobbo for the final stack of laps, so then we can try and make a push towards him at the end. And if we manage to have a faster pace than him, then all for it. But yeah, that's going to be the challenge.
All right, I've lost Josh, so I'll try and have a chat with him off air later in the evening. I've got Chris Stark here, so we'll let Angus go. Hey, mate, well done. Looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table come Monza, and obviously the championship started well for you, so hopefully that will continue for the balance of the campaign. Well done again tonight on 3rd place.
No worries, mate. Thank you, and thank you to Project 36 and all the sponsors we have with Quokka Fueled and CC Forged, as well as Shockworks.
3rd in the race, 3rd in the championship, going along nicely at the moment. There he is, Angus Lawford. Hey, Starkey, nice to have you on board. 3rd round of the championship. First time we've seen Super 2 and Super 3 split up. What were your thoughts on the Super 3 race?
It was good. There's only, I think, maybe a handful of people that went to the wrong splits. Not too many. So if you jumped into Super 2 and you got cream, bad luck. You should have jumped to Super 3. If that's where you belong. Super 3 was good. I've been practicing for a couple of days, and I just, you forget that you might be quicker into the bus stop than other people. And I almost cleaned up Aiden Schultz and Cuthbertson, because they braked way earlier than I do, and I locked it up, and I got a bit sideways and I got hit in the side. So I just kept running. I was down on pace. There's 2 boys in there that will definitely be promoted next week. They were doing 2 seconds a lap faster than anyone. So they're Connor's teammates. So see you later, boys. Good luck in Super 2.
The guy who finished second, Lockie or whatever his name, he actually had a faster lap than Hobbo overall.
Wow. There you go. So can we not give them the points and just move them into Super 2? They were doing low 44s.
Yep.
He did a 44.9, and the other one did a 44.4. So that's just insane. They were way faster than us. But for the guys that should have been there, Sean McClure from Locked Up, he did a great job holding off Anthony Cuthbertson. I think Aiden made a mistake in the pit. He was in there longer than he should have been. And then I'd killed my tyres, and I made a few little flies trying to catch him. But looking at our points, if they're right, I think it looks like you've already added them, Adam, but you just haven't sorted them. I need help. Are they correct in the top 5?
No. We'll get back to Super 3 later on, and up at the championship points there for everybody else.
It was a good, clean race. There was a few people that struggled, but it was good, clean racing. It was not bad.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Hey, just quickly, thoughts on Monza? Thoughts on what's ahead for the rest of the week in the other categories that you're running?
Monza, I like it, the supercars. I'm not sure when I'm going back to work. I know I'm definitely missing 2 rounds. I just don't know what they are. In the other categories, I like the production cars, although I got a few safety points last week because I didn't brake. I did lift, I didn't brake. So I wasn't happy with probably 2 safety points, but I deserved it. I'm just going to jump in, and I like the LMPs. I'm having a good time in the LMPs. That's good fun. I went up 15 spots, I think, last week.
Indeed, and of course we're looking forward to seeing what might unfold in the LMPs this week from Mategi, and hopefully we're going to run on with the IndyCars as well on Friday night. It's Spa week, Starkey. How'd everybody at your end fare? Did you run the 24 over the weekend, or did representatives of your team run the 24?
I'll tell you how much I hate Spa, Zach. I was supposed to be 14 days off, and I took 2 nights of overtime just to avoid Spa. So I'm actually off until Tuesday week, so I'm going to do a fair bit of running this week, but I got no love for Spa whatsoever.
All right, very nicely done. No love at all from C. Stark for Spa, and we're going there very shortly. Mate, great to catch up as always. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks to Adam for splitting the servers up for me, because I had a few glitches with the weather, so he set them all up for me. So I'm pretty appreciative of all his help when we're in the committee. It's all help, all hands on deck.
Indeed. There it is, the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps, as we say thanks to Chris Stark. As per usual, we'll catch up with him later in the week. This is the setting for round 3, race number... What are we up to now? Race number 5 of the championship. We've had 2 sprint rounds back-to-back to get us going for GT3. So this is race 5 of 14 in the campaign. It's the first of the 3 90-minute hit-outs. It is GT3 Pro-Am, the focus for us tonight, as we welcome you to what will be a very wet and sodden Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Just have a look at that. Bring your umbrella, bring your raincoat, bring your gumboots, bring your hat, bring everything, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at it. You can hardly see the circuit. 11 o'clock in the morning, the end of qualifying is upon us.
Looking at the pre-server radar, qualifying is wet, but it should dry up for the race. So we'll see what happens when the server flicks across.
Copy. Seven-kilometre circuit, 11:03 server time, as we say. We'll wait for that to update in just a few moments before we get too excited about what's going on here. As far as GT3 Pro-Am is concerned, there's how the first 2 rounds have played out for us thus far. Gavin Simpson's on top, 98 points, 23 clear of Adam Chiplin, Mark Foster and Dane Snadden, the best of the new manufacturers, if you like, the new cars, on 63 points apiece. Eduardo Zamora on 63 points. 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. Bobby Camo, Sean Benici, Michael Brennan, Greg Heaney and Warren Ibert, the top 10. We couldn't do this without the great support of people like Waste Options, naming rights sponsor of GT3. Sprite Insider, of course, the naming rights sponsor of Monday Night Motorsport. In fact, right throughout the course of the season, they're the naming rights sponsor of the club. Pardon my lapse in sentence structure there. Merch.tgsrci.com as well. Orbic Australia, the great people at Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. So yes, Waste Options, Monday Night Motorsport for GT3, and Sprite Insider just overseeing the whole thing as far as the GSRC is concerned. Night 1 of week 3 in term 3, and we are ready to rock and roll. As you can see there, starting to clear up. We'll wait and see what the race server brings when that kicks into gear very shortly. 90 minutes tonight, Adam Lavis. We're anticipating 2 or 3 stops.
Should be 2, I believe.
I'm just hoping that poor old Josh Zudo messages me on Discord, and I struggle to get into Discord Messenger. As you can see that it's nice and sunny now as we've got cars lining up ready to rock and roll. I'm just going to send him a message via Messenger and say I'll have a chat to him later on, because people send me messages on Discord and I can't flick in between the broadcast screen that I've got coming up and Discord at the same time. So those messages can often sit there for 3 weeks before I go back and have a look at them. So apologies for that. Tyson Broad on the front row tonight with Lockhart Brownlee. Gavin Simpson, Sean Benici, Connor Nixon, Michael Edwards, the next 4. So Connor's having a run in Pro-Am tonight. Then we've got Mark Foster and Josh Robertson from row 4, Dane Snadden and Greg Heaney from 5. 6 Chevs in the top 10. This is the Chev Cup here. The Chev and Mustang not as prevalent in the other servers at the moment, but very prevalent here. Adam Proctor, Adam Chiplin from 6, Parry Anastakis, James Francone from 7, Braden O'Loughlin and Matt Schmidtke from 8, Daniel Piper, Aidan Schultz from 9, Andrew Franklin and Eduardo Zamora from 10. And we keep on rolling, folks. There is 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 cars in this server tonight. This is quite extraordinary. Brian Bullock and Scott, we've picked a good night to come and have a look at Pro-Am. Brian Bullock, Scott Wooden from 11, Bruce Barnes, Paul Wood from 12, Bobby Camo, Aaron Farmer rather from 13, Shannon Fever, Chris McDonald from 14, Neil Gladwin and Warren Ivett from 15. From 16, it's Adam Hennessy and Neil DeBruin. From 17, Craig Mason and Brett Bradbury. From 18, Ben Lavender and Robert McGrath. From 19, Brad Coates and Colin Bennett. From 20, it's Ben Goring and Peter Foster. Not that Peter Foster. From 21, it's Lindsay Kearns and Pete Matson. From 22, Kelvin Little and Michael Ladder. And Liam Braid from 23. Shane Newlands has taken to the grid without setting a qualifying time. Joe Baldwin's in race control, possibly. I haven't seen Joe take to the grid, nor Greg Spencer, nor Brian Lynn. That is quite the field, Adam Lavis. That is huge.
Decent size.
In pit lane as well.
Very good size. Luckily we've got a nice big track, so they should have plenty of room to play.
It's a great circuit. It's iconic in world motorsport. It's been home to iRacing Spa 24-hour all weekend. It had the real world thing there not a month ago. And now tonight it plays host to 90 minutes of GT3 Pro-Am racing for us on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We're also back here on Wednesday with GT4, Thursday with the Porsche Cup, Friday night with IndyCar as well, and Sunday with the Enduro. It is Spa Week on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club as Belgium takes centre stage and we get racing. Tyson brought a magnificent start. There's single file, too much for the sake of it on the run down to turn 1, but that should keep it clean. I didn't even get a chance to ask the question which pit lane we were using. That answers the question. We're using the Grand Prix pit lane as they run down to Eau Rouge for the first time. A clean start. It looks like everybody's respecting the racing room there. Brett Bradbury and Shannon Fever still sitting in pit lane. Now they join the race from 44th and 45th respectively. 45 starters. Wow, what a sight that is as they head down the Camel Straight for the first time. Just having a look through the manufacturers. Chev, Ferrari, Ford, Porsche, BMW. We've got a couple of cars off. Adam Chiplin's one of them. Aidan Schultz another. Oh boy, there's a bit of off-track action actually going through the flick-flop, the dog leg at the end of the back straight there, the chicane. Adam Chiplin's one of them. He's in all sorts of trouble. Aidan Schultz is on the tow rope already. Oh dear. We're already seeing attrition creep into this.
James Franco's got rid of the no Penrith livery. Parramatta livery.
Wow. Well, maybe he's off them at the moment. I think they only just scraped through past the bye over the weekend. Got to watch how loudly I say that because my housemate, my landlord, is actually a Parramatta tragic. Adam Hennessy on the tow rope now as well. Aidan Schultz is parked up for the night. He's already done. BMW, Ford, Ferrari, Porsche, Audi, Chev, all represented in that field tonight. So I think that's 6 of the 9 possible manufacturers out there. 5 of which actually currently sit inside the top 10. Chev, Ferrari, Ford, Porsche, and BMW 13th, and Audi. So what's that? 6 different manufacturers. No Mercedes, no McLaren, no Lamborghini, if I've done my homework right, in this server tonight. We've already lost, can you believe this? We've already lost 2 cars. I've got Paul Wood on the tow rope in pit lane as well. So, unfortunately, it is a challenging racetrack. It's difficult to master. There are trip-up points all around in all 3 sectors. And we've already seen 3 drivers, at least, bite the dust on the opening lap. At the front, Tyson Broad leads by 1.5 seconds to Gavin Simpson. Sean Benici is third. Mark Foster and Dane Snadden make up the top 5. Frog Leap Juiced Racing, 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Ferrari and Chev. Nice to see a Corvette up front. 3.5 minutes gone. The lap time's around about that 2:18, 2:17 marker in qualifying. So, I mean, it's always easier to work on a calculation of about 2 minutes 20 around here, which gets you 3 laps every 7 minutes. There are 13 sevens in 91. So 13 times 3 is 39. Probably take 1 or 2 off that. So we're probably looking at 37 laps tonight. Would be the easiest way to look at it. I mean, once you take into consideration the pit stops, yeah, probably 38 laps is where I'd be hedging my bets tonight. If the pace remains where it is at the moment, just under that 2-minute 20 marker. Remembering that there is the capacity to do overtime and come back to the line in that 91st minute, but also you've got 2 transits down pit lane. Oh, geez, Adam Hennessy, that's what brought him undone. As we start to roll through some replays right now.
So Chiplin is serving his slowdown. He must have got clipped here. He's got clipped while he's doing a slowdown. Everyone's coming through multiple wide.
What a sight that was, too. Just have a look at the Camel Straight. Just chock-a-block, peek out. 2:18.385 for Tyson Broad. That gives an indication as to where the pace is at the front of the field tonight. 88.40 would get us to, what did I say, 3 every 7. 3 by 12 is 36. 12 by 7 is 84. 37, 38, 39. There's an outside chance we'll get to 39, but 38 is safe hunting. Paul Wood. If it's 2 stops, there's every chance we could scrape in that extra. Oh, no. Paul Wood got caught up. Bang. That Armco has really wreaked havoc, hasn't it? That runoff area is no longer existent there. You got nowhere to go. And it just looked ugly. So Paul Wood caught up in it early. And damage aplenty here. Paul Wood's parked up 1 lap down now. He's only on lap 2. Everybody else is on lap 3. So Woodsy's going to be working from behind for much of the night. Aidan Schultz, Adam Hennessy, both out of the race. We're down to 43. Shane Newlands has just come back across the start-finish line. Pete Matson's been to pit lane. Shannon Fever, Brett Bradbury started from pit lane. So pit lane's been a hub of activity early here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And round 3 of Waste Options GT3 Pro-Am. So we've brought you an AM race already. We've brought you a Pro-Am race already. We've brought you 2 Pro races already tonight. The first of the 3 longer races, and Pro-Am is the focus. And they've got an enormous field here. 6 different manufacturers, 45 starters, 43 still running. Paul Wood has just got back onto the lead lap, but he won't be on it for long, I wouldn't imagine. He's the better part of a lap down, 0.9 of a lap down. Given that an extra point gives you the full lap, ladies and gentlemen. So 90% of the lap down. Oh, Braden O'Loughlin, big moment, big shunt. Lockhart Brownlee's gone through, having lost 4 spots early on. 2:18.238, the fastest lap of the race right now. And Tyson Broad's lead is 1.7 seconds. You've got Sean Benici, Mark Foster, Dane Snadden, 3-4-5. Adam Proctor in behind Brownlee. Zamora's their 13th best of the BMWs at the moment. Scott Wooden and Neil Gladwin are flying the flag for Audi along with Kelvin Little, and that's it. 3 Audis in the field. The rest of them running either a Porsche, a BMW, a Corvette, a Ferrari, or a Mustang. Oh, jeez. Zamora around the outside, contact, gone! They're both gone! Zamora and Schmidtke, I should say. Edwards managed to squeeze through there. Jeez, there's been plenty of contact in the early stages. But plenty of hustle and bustle, push and shove. Race control's got some tape to look at here. And still, so much of this field trying to sort itself out and find clear real estate. Aaron Farmer and Pete Matson to pit lane. McDonald, I wouldn't want to be there. Sitting duck at the moment. That's for 25th. So it's only lap 4. As I say, the more they stay in the 18s, I mean, we don't know what we don't know. The unknown entity here at the moment, right, is at 38 laps you've got 1 minute and 20 to play with. That's 2 pit lane transits. I think 38 is going to be the number, and the only reason I'm saying that is because the pit lane transit in its own right will be a good chunk of time, but the pit stops, with it now being 2-stop races instead of 3, when we're talking 3-stop races, we're talking maybe 20-second pit stops tops, because the fuel tank capacity wasn't what it is now. It's been increased. Therefore, that's giving everybody a limited opportunity to take more fuel on at the first stop if they run the tank dry. So you're seeing pit stops up close towards that half a minute. You do 2 50-second transits in the pit lane, there's a minute and 40 seconds, and all of a sudden that threshold's gone. So 38 is the number that I'm willing to bank on that we get to tonight. And of course, if we do get a safety car at any point, that'll ruin the calculation. Oh boy, up the back straight we go. Franklin there in 13th. Chasing him is Greg Heaney and Brian Bullock. Bobby Camo's leading the next pack, and that was Matt Schmidtke having a look on the inside of Scott Wood and couldn't get it done. Tucks him behind. A very, very big weekend of motorsport in the virtual world, and in the real world actually it wasn't too bad either. We had the Brickyard 400, we had IndyCar from Toronto. I've got to go back and have a look at that when the broadcast is done. I also am aware of what unfolded in Hungary in terms of a result, but I haven't had a chance to watch any of it yet, so that's going to be fun. Aiden Schultz unfortunately parked up and done for the night. You're right, that was not good at all. Being done 90 seconds into a 90-minute race is not ideal. Bad luck, mate. That'll up, push on. We'll see you again, or press on rather. We'll see you again next week. This is what happened to Aiden Schultz. Oh, jeez.
Oh, here's the one that clipped Chiplin.
And then it just got worse. Met the tyre wall. That was it.
So yeah, he's blindsided by Schmidtke in front. It's one of those surprise moments. Car.
Oh, jeez. What a moment. Dead set unlucky. Well, dead set lucky not to wipe out a couple of cars there. We'll see him again next week, I'm sure. Brian Bullock in 15th at the moment. We are 12 minutes into 90 here. It's a long slog, not necessarily for these guys, because they're very familiar with Spa after the weekend just gone. But saying that, it's a long slog for us because it's a Monday night, and we'll take you through till about 11 o'clock Eastern tonight, because by the time we're, what are we, 12 minutes in, so that's 78 to go. That's going to take us to about 7 past 10 Eastern Standard Time when the checkered flag flies. That means that, yeah, once we get through the post-race show, having a chat to a few of the drivers here, be they AM split competitors, pro split competitors, pro AM split competitors, whoever wants to come in for chat post-race. Remember, post-race will also have the results from pro and AM. We'll also have, as Thomas Foster's about to join us here in the commentary box. And it's interesting, actually, the fact that Thomas Foster is going to join us in the commentary box this early in the piece. What's happened?
Lost connection to the server.
Oh, no!
Can't get back in, restarted the PC, still can't load. Can't find the server at all.
Jeez. When it rains, it pours. You would have been running in pro, obviously, but I mean, that's never ideal. And that just goes to show, doesn't it, mate? I mean, as good as an internet as we led to believe we have in this country, it can sometimes bugger up.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I was punching for 5th then. I was only 3-4 laps in. One of the other boys couldn't even get into the server as well. So curious whether something's going on, but it is what it is. Another night.
Quite possibly could be the case. How have you been anyway, mate? We haven't checked in for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I've been busy renovating my house, so been a bit time poor of late.
So I take it that you did or didn't get a run in the Spa-24 over the weekend?
Oh no, definitely got to run the Spa-24. We did the 5 PM session Saturday night in second split. Running P10 for a fair section there, and had a little bit of bad luck and finished P19. So that's pretty good for the Pacific Esports. Good work.
Tell you what, iRacing must have been you-know-what bricks on Friday afternoon when the world was going to the proverbial with regards to the technology meltdown, and with everybody setting up for the Spa-24 over the weekend. Thankfully, it sorted itself out and we got going. But Spa-24, I mean, talk us through it, because it's a long slog. How many co-drivers did you have? How many stints did you do? And are you sick of the joint yet?
I could never be sick of racing, to be quite honest. It's, I live and breathe it. But I had 2 doubles. One of the doubles ended up being a triple, so I did the 3rd and 4th stint, and then the 6th, 7th, and 8th stint, which landed me about 3 AM in the morning, and gee, was I tired.
Well, I don't doubt that. I'm very happy with how I was knocking out Zeds at 3 o'clock on Sunday morning.
I would have loved to have been 2, but one of the boys had an issue and they weren't able to turn up. So there I was driving down the straight and texting someone else at the same time, trying to get someone else to come do the next stint, because there was a couple of times I had a few blinks.
Oh, brilliant. Hey, just quickly too, I mean, I'm just looking at the conditions here and now. Like, we're dry at the moment, but I'm led to believe that some Spa-24s were greeted with a fair downpour over the course of the weekend.
We certainly did. My first stint, so 3rd and 4th, was in blue to green rain, I suppose you would say. Puddles everywhere. You couldn't touch the curbs. We were doing 2-minute 45s, 2-minute 43s sort of thing. But as the drying conditions came through, it took all night for the track to dry out.
Have we had a chat to you this season now that the Corvette and the Mustang are in our server? Or have we not?
Nope. I've been rather busy.
Have you tested those cars, or have you stayed with one of the mainstay vehicles?
I'm staying with the Ferrari, mate. My father is actually running in the M series, I believe, tonight, so I'm helping him.
Oh, very nice. What's it like for you being on that side of the fence, of being, the one that's giving the advice, the one that's having their opinion sought after?
I suppose it's a little bit of a proud moment. Dad's come a long way since he started. He's got to believe in himself a bit more. He does have the pace. I've actually told him, and we've dedicated the Bathurst 12 hour next year together. So we're doing it.
Excellent. Lovely. I like the idea of that. Aidan Short's just chiming in as well. You're more than welcome to join us in the commentary box, Shorty, instead of just wagering in on the comments there. But he was saying that he's had nearly half in wet conditions as well. In saying that, quick update for everybody tuning in at home. We just picked up Lindsay Kearns, Rd-3, Tyson Broad, Gavin Simpson, Lockhart, Brownlee 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Brownlee the fastest lap of the race, 2:18.23. Brownlee under pressure from Mark Foster. We've picked up Peter Foster down there in 28th position. And, of course, we've got Tom Foster here in the commentary box with us at the moment. So, hang on, when you say AM, do you mean Pro-Am, or have we got Fosters left, right and centre here? Have we got Fosters across all 3 splits?
You've got Fosters that I don't know about. Peter Foster, a.k.a. Paps, that is my dad.
That is, right, okay. So Pro-Am, not Am. I was like, hang on a moment, let me just clarify that.
I thought he would have been an Am, but that's okay. A quick update. I was kicked.
Mate.
I was kicked from the server accidentally.
Oh no!
Update from Josh. He doesn't understand how it's happened, but there you go. My night is definitely done.
Don't worry. You're not the first one on the receiving end of that treatment. An accidental bump. and punt. But at least hopefully we'll be able to compensate that for you somewhere down the line. The Ferrari. I mean, it seems as though what's amazed me about the Pro Split so far this season, mate, and you might be able to offer some insight on this as well, is that all the rage, all the rave, and Josh has just come in to defend himself actually in the commentary box. We'll get them in a sec, but all the rave pre-season was Corvette v Mustang, and yet it's ended up being certainly here in Pro-Am. Corvette's got a strong presence at the top end of town. We've got 2 Fords in the top 10 as well, but they're in the Pro Split. It seems as though they're just playing a supporting role to the mainstays. It seems as though there's still a lot of love in the house for the Porsche, particularly the Ferrari and the BMW as well.
No, the BMW's still got a lot of speed.
Jeez, hang on, Robert McGrath. Wow, what a moment there. McGrath into the wall. He had one of the Bimmers with him for company. And that could have been a lot nastier for both cars. Instead, it's just McGrath that comes off second best. Sorry, continue on, Tom.
I was just saying the Beamer's still got a lot of pace. The Ferrari just seems to be a pretty solid case. You know, I had a go at the Mustang, and it feels like it just bites. Like when it goes wrong, it bites so hard it just spears you. You don't get time to catch it, which a lot of the boys are finding out very quickly. So the Corvette I never bought, but from the boys that I have raced with, they've said it's very close to the McLaren. I don't know what that is like either. I've never driven that one, but yeah, I've dipped my toes, but I'm going to stay true purely on the fact that I want to be able to help Dad.
Yep. And aside from GT3, mate, and the renovations and everything else that's going on, personally, where else are we dipping our toes as far as sim racing is concerned at the moment?
I've got to get my iRacing, what's it called, up, iRating.
iRating, yep.
At the moment, I'm running about 2.5, which is fairly low for the people around what we race.
Indeed.
And that's purely on the endurance level, where we want to race in the see if we can get into the top split. So I'm one of the lowest in the team.
Oh well, I'm sure with a little bit of work and a little bit of perseverance, I'm sure that won't be the case for too long. Hey, stay there with me, mate. Just quickly get Josh Zuno in here for some comments. Good evening to you, mate. Nice to have you on board. What the hell's going on, please?
Oh, I'd like to know myself, actually, Zach. I jumped into the RC booth with Hendo because Hendo couldn't see an incident on the other side of the track, and we're just deliberating because I just so happened to be able to bring it up, and I spotted Thomas getting booted, and you know we're playing through an incident with someone else, and I'm like, oh, I'll have to check on who's done that. I was quickly checked with Hendo. I was like, oh, you haven't done it? And I was like, oh, okay. I asked the only other admin, and he goes, you've done it, Josh. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So I am so sorry, Thomas. I have no idea how that's happened. I have nothing running in the background. I was never even hovering over you. I'm clueless.
That's all good. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, ruined a good night, mate.
I wouldn't do it twice. No. Let's avoid a repeat of that. Hey, Josh, extraordinary numbers here at the moment. I mean, this Pro-Am race, we've got 40. We had 45 starters. We've now had Robert McGrath and Pete Matson join the retirement list as well. So we're down to 41. What are the numbers like in Pro, please, gents?
I'd like to know, but I was too scared to hang around, to be real frank with you, Zach. My computer's doing things I can't put a finger on. So, no, it was a good turnout in pros as well. We had some out-of-place cars as well. I noticed Denchi didn't get a lap in before the rain came down. So, you know, gunning from the rear. I believe there was just over 30 starters, Thomas.
Hang on, you guys got rain?
Yeah, so quali, we had a massive rainfall coming at us. So the people that got out were able to got out like straight away, were able to get a lap in. Anyone that waited like 20, 30 seconds, the lap times were just falling.
Yeah.
So it was all said and done in the first 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Cannot wait to see what the results look like at the end of the night there, with a little bit of a jumbled starting order. All right, well, Tom, considering we've got to the bottom of the issue here now, mate, let me ask you about week 4. And I mean, it's a 60-minute race around the Nürburgring. Not the Nordschleife this time around, thankfully. Just the Grand Prix circuit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, not bad. Another circuit. Let's just see what the weather brings, and if I get to stay on the server, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I won't log into that one, mate.
A nice, subtle drive-by there, if ever I've seen one. Very well done. Excellent. Hey, Josh, since you are here, before I let you two gentlemen skedaddle on through, since you are here, though, Sunday, Enduro, and Spa again. It's Olympic week. We're excited about that. Wednesday night, can't wait, bring it on. But at the same time, we are here more times than you can poke a stick at this week. It is Spa week on the platforms of the GSRC, and it ends on Sunday with you guys parading around here for another few hours.
Yeah, the irony is I don't think anyone that did the 24-hour wants to see Spa again, and yeah, that's all they're saying this week. But yeah, no, it should be a good one. Unfortunately, we've had to wrap up the endurance kind of series in totality, so this is the last race. So I'm actually expecting decent numbers based on that. Always a good race. So yeah, we'll see how we go and see if we can send it off in style.
The last hurrah for Sunday Motorsport on the platforms of the GSRC. Looking forward to that immensely. Good luck with that, mate. I hope it goes well. We'll be catching up with you again later throughout the course of the week. And Tom, hopefully no glitches on computers at admin's end next week for you.
Yeah, I look forward to it, mate. I'll sit here and watch from the sidelines. I'm actually probably going to jump over Dad's shoulder and give
Do
him
that.
some help.
Absolutely. Wish him well from us, and bad luck to you, and good luck for the rest of the night, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Great broadcast,
Yes,
mate. Carry it up.
All right, let's continue on here. Thanks to those two gentlemen for jumping on in and having a chat with us. We are watching the battle at the moment featuring Dane Snadden on racetrack here. Car number 3. Dane sitting in 7th at the moment, chasing Adam Proctor and Sean Benici, under pressure from Josh Robertson and Perry Anastakis. And Robertson having a run in GT3 after missing out on the supercar. Dane Snadden sits there in 7th at the moment. 2:18.238 still the benchmark from Lockhart Brownlee. We're running in the 2:18s and 19s at the moment. We're on lap 11. That's on the trajectory of where we expect it to be right now, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we were looking at the clock at the start of the night. It said 3 laps every, 7 minutes on the basis of 2 minutes 20 a lap time. So 4 3s are 12, 7 to 28. So we're on track there for that number roughly. An hour and a half is the race distance. We are 1 hour and 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from the checkered flag at this point.
Probably about
Dane Snadden in the Whiskey Business Racing Ford at the moment.
Yeah, looking about probably 10 to 12 minutes when we start seeing some the pit window close on these guys for the first stint.
Oh, sorry, close or open?
Well,
Close.
closes in they'll be out of fuel in about 12 to 13 minutes. So within that time, we should see some pit stops.
Excellent, lovely. And if it is a 40-minute window, then that means any time from about the 50-minute mark.
I think it's about
they'd
30.
be able to come in and top up and get home.
It's about 35 to 40. So with this track being a long track, it makes it hard to get the extra lap.
True. Craig Mason, Kelvin Little to pit lane this time round, and Craig's been there a while, 55 seconds in fact. That's a disappointing stop for him. Kelvin Little's going to pass him by. Liam Braid's had a moment here in the Mustang. Oh no.
That was Shane Newens, I think.
The rejoin wasn't great. Yeah, Newens is on the tow rope. Braid's on the tow rope. They're not going any further. Look at them. Look at the wheel alignment on them. Absolutely stuffed. Kelvin Little to pit lane. And
Oh, he's almost popped it up. Got away with it though.
22.12 seconds. He was lucky to get away with it. Craig Mason not so. He's been on the lane for 1:35.
Proctor first jump.
Just chiming in from the comments now as well, doing an Aidan Schultz. If you use 3.75 litres per lap, you get the extra lap. 3.75 is the number you've got to hit.
Well, that's also car dependent.
But yeah, they're the Denchi sort of figures that you're looking at there, quite frankly.
Yeah, so whichever car Tom's actually driving, that's the number. Each car has a different. Each car has different fuel capacity and mileage. So, but percentage-wise, it'll be around the same number.
For some reason. Oh, that's right. That's easy. I'm wondering why I'm getting a messenger alert and I'm not getting it on my Facebook tab on my computer here, and it's because it was the Olympics show. Links to reels and things from the last few days in Paris as they set up for what's going to be an extraordinary 19 days there. Remember, we say it's 16 days, but there's 2 days of competition before day 0, which is the opening ceremony, and then 16 days. So it's the better part of 3 weeks by the time it's all done. Sunday, August 11, and Monday, August 12, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Neil de Bruin there in 17th place right now. So, I mean, the positional gain and loss part of that totem pole is not 100% spot on at the moment, only because we've already had an array of pit stops here. So, Colin Bennett, Lindsay Kearns have just come in. Chris McDonald, Paul Wood, Kelvin Little, Aaron Farmer, Ben Lavender have all been in. Liam Braid's parked up. No, he's got back out there, but he's now a lap down. Craig Mason's still in pit lane after 3.5 minutes, and Shane Newens has got back out onto the track after 2:41 stationary. Craig Mason, 3.5 now in the pit box for him. We've had 4 retirements already. Robert McGrath, Pete Matson, Aidan Schultz and Adam Hennessy. You've got Braden O'Loughlin's been on pit lane after 3 laps, so he's going to be in trouble in terms of making it on one more stop. It might be a 3-stopper for him because of that. Adam Proctor pitted at the end of lap 12. Bradbury started from pit lane. Matt Schmidtke came in at the end of lap 7, so that's going to be interesting to see where his numbers lie. Greg Heaney came in at the end of lap 12, and now we've got Gavin Simpson, Josh Robertson and Parry Anastakis all on pit lane. So top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cars, 20, 21, 22 yet to transit the lane. So half and half. Trouble in the wall. Big one in the wall. That was Ben Goring. An enormous shunt. That'll be a curb issue, I'd imagine. And the rear end of the Porsche slipping out from under him and steering him hard left into the concrete. What a moment this is. Riding on board with him. Have a look at this.
No, he just lost the rear.
He lost the rear, rode the curb, and couldn't catch it. So he didn't ride the curb into the corner. He rode the curb out of the corner, already drifting. Big moment for Goring. He'll be coming to pit lane. Eduardo Zamora back out onto the track now. Once this field is cleansed and once we've got through the first round of pit stops, we'll give you an idea as to what we're doing and where we're going. Who's gained what?
It's interesting
in the way of track position.
It's interesting in the GT3 chat during the weekend. A lot of the guys were talking about the Porsche having trouble at Bonchimont. I remember usually when we come here, it's usually poo on, but yeah, as we've seen already tonight, we've seen at least 2 or 3 Porsches have a Bonchimont moment. So it looks like the guys in the chat are on the ball.
Tom summed it up best. Porsche doing Porsche things. Always. It's the trait.
Who was that?
Now that's interesting. Car on the inside of the circuit. Off track, Kelvin Little. Kelvin Little's off the road. Ben Lavender's got on by. I'll keep an eye on the off-track alert, whether he gets on the tow rope and gets to pit lane or whether he turns out of there and gets back going. Kelvin Little off the road. That's unfortunate for Kelvin. Let's have a look at this.
Inside curb.
Oh, no. And a mongrel of a spot to get out of, but he's managed to do so. I do believe. And maybe continue going. Paul Wood with the spin now. That's unlike Woodsy. Still getting to grips with that Mustang. Riddle has now got back going, but he's still reading off track. Now he gets back on the bitumen. Brad Coates is 19th, and Tyson Broad has led this one from the front and leads it comfortably. 8.6 to the good on Lockhart Brownlee. Mark Foster is 3rd. We've got 1, 2, only 2 drivers by my count, by my reckoning. I'm just scrolling down, making sure I'm right on that. Oh no, 3. Gavin Simpson's been in the 218s, 218.468. Scrolling. Yeah, only 3 cars so far have been in the 18s. An 18.2 for Brownlee, an 18.3 for Broad, an 18.4 for Gavin Simpson. 33 3/4 minutes gone, so we're past 1/3 race distance.
So chances are the little group of guys who pit on lap 13, they're probably just doing the even split strategy where they're just pitting every half hour. Keeping it simple, no math involved.
Exactly, and why not? It makes perfect logical sense.
What the hell?
Define her. That's all I'm going to say to that. I need names. Good to see that we've got the usual gutter level of interaction coming from Twitch at the moment. Brad Coates in 20th spot at the moment. Being passed there on the inside. That was a good move actually from the great man Parianastakis. Back down the inside comes Coates, can't get it done. Broad, Brownlee, Foster, Benici, Snadden, Piper. Top 6 at the moment. Francone, Edwards, Camo and Franklin as Benici comes to pit lane. It's a Corvette 1, 2, 3, 4 up until that point now. Dane Snadden takes over 4th, Piper to 5th. Benici to pit lane.
It's a bit of a testament to how much our YouTube has taken over the comment section. I just checked my Discord. 3 comments, 2 of which were spam, so they've been deleted. Not Discord, sorry, Twitch.
Yep. Including the one that made it to screen there.
No names catching a few out tonight as well.
Chiplin included. Plenty of cars on pit lane right now. Benici, Bullock, Barnes, Camo, De Bruin. And these pit stops are in excess of 25 seconds at the moment as Sean Benici comes back out to the racetrack.
So Gavin Simpson leading the pit runners.
Yep. And, down 8 on where he started. So he started 3rd, but I mean, travelling along beautifully at the moment. Unimpeded, unharmed. 36 minutes gone. As you say, we are not far off that pit window closing. And I mean, here's the interesting thing for you, mate. I mean, I'm talking about 38 laps. Race distance tonight, 12 3s are 36, 12 7s are 84. So that gives you a little bit of carryover. I'm talking 38 laps in, well, that would get you to 88.40 if our numbers are rounding up. And then whatever the pit lane transit is, that should get you up to the 90, right? In the unlikely event we get to 39, you'd have to get 19 and a half laps to a tank. And I just don't see how they're going to do that. Tyson Broad's coming round to complete lap 16 this time by, and he's in. So there's the cutoff. Lap 16 seems to be the threshold for Tyson Broad. Brownlee's followed him in, and Mark Foster should do as well. This could be a very busy lap on pit lane. Foster's in. Snadden's coming into the bus stop, and Snadden's going in as well. Piper follows. Francone's the next one to get towards pit road. He comes in. Edwards should follow. Yes, he does. And Franklin, Ibert, and Gladwin. It'll be the top 10 all on pit road. The pit stop cycle is just about at an end. Lap 16 seems to be that threshold. So, I mean, so there's our critical laps sorted out from this point on. If the leaders are going 16, we're talking 16 and 16, so we're talking 32. But at the same time, and that would be for a 6 or 7 lap stint. So we're talking the opposite end of the spectrum. And it was a 31.2 second stop for Tyson Broad. So it's a really long run down the pit lane. Stationary time 31.2 plus the pit lane transit itself. They've spent about a minute on the lane. And furthermore, they've got another stop where they came from, but it's not going to be anywhere near as long. It's only going to be a 6 or 7 lap fuel drop required here, because 16 and 16 is 32. I said we're going 38 in the rare event, in the unlikely event that we actually squeeze in a 39th, and by which I mean, 2 or 3 seconds before time elapses, we squeeze one more in, then you're going to need 7. But at this stage, I'd be willing to wager that the critical laps are the end of lap 22 and the end of lap 32. So 22 for the full drop to go all the way through to the end on a long elongated run, 32 for the splash and dash, the short drop, and run 6 or 7 laps, and then anywhere in between if you're trying to perform overcuts or undercuts and make some strategy work in your favour. Shannon Fever, Michael Ladder, Adam Chiplin, Peter Foster. All to pit lane this time by as well. Liam Braid's been on the lane again. Already 2 laps down though. So, I mean, Craig Mason's parked up. So we've got our 5th retirement. We're down to 40 still registered in the server. Still running at the moment, or still listed as running. We've got Lavender, Little and Newlands are all down a lap. Braid's about to be down 3 laps. And remembering that 75% of 38 is going to be, you're going to need about 29 laps to be qualified. 40 minutes gone, and lap 18 in the books. This time, lap 17 in the books. We've just started lap 18. We've got Sean Benici on screen here in 7th, chasing Parry Anastakis. International flavour to this battle. One's running the American flag, the other the Greek. 2:18.238 for Lockhart Brownlee, the fastest lap of the race thus far. That was set well back in the early stages, in the opening 10 minutes. Maybe with things settling down just a little bit here. Oh no, Andrew Franklin has put it off the road down at turn 1. He's got back running. He remains 12. Maybe this is our opportunity, Adam Lavis, with this one settling down momentarily, to jump on board with both Corvette now and a Mustang later, because we haven't had a chance to do it throughout the course of the season to this point. Maybe just go for a ride with each of the 2 new cars, just so everybody at home can develop a sense of appreciation for the muscle, the sound, the grunt that they bring to the table, and just hear the new machinery at work. There is Greg Heaney at the moment, one of our old favourites. I mean, they're in the Corvette 13th place. He's got 2 of his teammates ahead of him, namely Dane Snadden in 9th and Matt Schmidtke in 11th. He's busy at work here trying to fend off James Francone and Michael Edwards. So maybe next time by the line we go for a ride with somebody, even if it's one of the leaders. Just to hear these new cars hard at work. We've been talking a big game about how much of a game changer it is, the evolution of GT3 racing, the fact that we've got 2 new manufacturers that are prominent now on a Monday night. Ford was always represented in GT3 to this point, but it was the GT, and no one had any real desire to run it across the course of 15 seasons. So now we're running the Mustang, and it's got a far greater presence. We pick up Mark Foster. He's running one of the Corvettes. We might go for a ride with Mark Foster here. We're jumping on board with him now. He is chasing Josh Robertson. That's the reason Adam Lavis has gone with him, by the way, because it's the closest battle in the top 5. Sean Benici's chasing Parry Anastakis as well. That's Porsche against Corvette. Let's ride with Mark Foster, the Victorian, in the Corvette for a lap of this 7-kilometre Spa circuit. All right. Oh, what about that front lap from Mark Foster? You saw the mistake from Josh Robertson that allowed Foster the opportunity to range up on the back of him and then pounce at the bus stop to move up into fourth. Lap 19 is done. We're at half race distance. I think that allays any fears about whether it's going to go 38 or 39 as well, Adam Lavis. Let's have a look at Tyson Broad, the race leader. Oh no, look at this at the bus stop. We've had a change for the lead. Lockhart Brownlee comes through, sweeps up the pieces, says thanks very much. So 2 defining moments at the bus stop in the last 45 seconds of play. It is all happening here. That's Paul Wood at the back of shot. He's a lap down at the moment. Everyone on the lead lap down to Michael Latter in 35th position. Everyone beyond that, good luck. Aidan Schultz, Adam Hennessy, 44th and 45th. Pete Matson in 43rd. Robert McGrath, 42nd. They're all out of business. So too Craig Mason, 41st. We are down to 40. Biggest movers and shakers thus far. In the positives, +8 for Daniel Piper in 9th place, up 8 spots from 17th on the grid. Bobby Camo from 25th up to 16th, up 9 spots. And Neil De Bruin up 13 spots from 32nd to 19th. 9 spots also for Warren Ibert, 30th to 21st. 13 for Brad Coates, 37th to 24th. 13 for Ben Goring, despite that incident. He's up from 39th to 26th on the racetrack. Colin Bennett up 11, so too Lindsay Kearns. And this is Liam Braid with another moment. Oh, geez. Went one way than the other, but thankfully only in the gravel, so he'll be okay. Although, no, he's decided to just go fast escape, rage quit, exit stage left. So now we're down to 39. Oh. See, here I was thinking he'll be okay, he'll get out of there. Not bogged in the sand at all. No, rage quit. So Liam Braid, the first of the Fords to retire tonight. Top 10. 5 Corvettes. 2 Fords, 2 Porsches, 1. Oh, Greg Heaney. Jeez, they did well to avoid him. And 1 Ferrari, being Gavin Simpson in 3rd place at the moment. In fact, Liam Braid's not conceded defeat on being in the Pro-Am split at all. He's going to drop back to M, apparently. That was the comment that just came through on Discord. Oh, no. Dear, oh, dear. That's unlucky. And now Shane Newens is off the road as well. Shane Newens is off the road. Lockhart Brownlee still holding the lead under pressure here from Tyson Broad. We've got a real race on our hands for the race lead, ladies and gentlemen. This was Newens down to the hairpin. Halfway home at that point, of course. Turn 10 of 20. That's 11. Oh, geez. Yep, unlucky. BMW doing Porsche things. Is that in that instance?
I think he's got grass in his tyres from the previous corner and then continued on and just a little bit too violent with the shifted weight transfer, and it just pendulumed around him.
Fair call. It's all happening here at the moment at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Remember, we're with you again on Thursday night. Again, the main course will be from Spa, but it'll only be 40 minutes, not an hour and a half. So 50 minutes less off the clock. And we'll also have the entree from Motegi. So again, continent hopping on Thursday night for LMP2 into the Porsche Cup. Friday night, the IndyCars are back. Oh no, Dane Snowden's had a moment. You're right with him for it. Dane Snowden's had a monster coming through turn 18. He gathered it up. He drops a couple of spots and puts the boot back into it. Snadden back to 12th, and that could have been a lot worse.
I was just getting ready to go for a lap with him so we get the difference in the Mustang noise, but
We'll do that next time round.
Blanchimont stings again.
Wow. What a moment for Dane Snadden. Adam Proctor's the best placed Mustang at the moment in 8th. Andrew Frank on 11th and Dane Snadden 12th. And still this battle rages for the race lead. Well, thankfully, the moments that have unfolded have actually breathed new life into the race because it's starting to become a bit stale and processional, I don't mind saying. And thankfully, this time round, right, boy, gee, it's looking spicy. $50 minutes gone, 40 to go, and as I say, Friday night IndyCar will also be from here at Spa, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get some clarification from Nick Fodiatis later in the week with regards to what happens to what should have been round 2 last Friday night before the world learnt that technology is faulty. And in the meantime, we're riding with Brian Bullock. Chasing Greg Heaney. Oh no, off go! Oh geez, I tell you what, I saw the off-track alert for the 2 leaders, Brownlee and Broad, and I was like, oh, hang on, wait for it. No, it's just that point of the circuit.
You got to remember this is Spa, so you're going to see a lot more flashes.
Geez.
Like for example, according to SDK, Brownie's got 58 off tracks.
Copy. Yeah, Brownlee and Broad still going out at half a second separates them. Simpson, Foster under pressure from Robertson still. Anastakis has got Benici covered. And we go back to Camo and Zamora. 15th and 16th, Heaney and Bullock 17th and 18th. And yes, hopefully this time around, Dane Snadden won't let us down. We can go for a ride with him just before things ramp up once more in intensity. There he is. We're riding with him now. Can we just have a look at track and server conditions, please, Adam Lavis, just before we do that, just very quickly? Where we're at, 28 degrees the ambient. Sorry, 28 degrees the on-track, 21 the ambient. Heading towards 6 o'clock in the evening, but as you can tell, still crystal blue sky, clear daylight conditions because they observe daylight saving. Hello Queensland, hello WA. Well, let's go for a ride with Dane Snadden. Up that with Dane Snadden. And already there'll be some comparisons made between the noise of the Corvette and the Mustang just, for mine, it just sounds all the more sweeter. It's got some real good solid grunt to it. Which car looks the best on circuit? Might be depending on the paint scheme more than anything else, but yes, there's a lot of love out there for the two new manufacturers, particularly in this split. But the Porsche, the Ferrari, the Audi even, and the BMW also getting some love in Pro-Am tonight. No love at all for the Merc or the McLaren, and also the Lambo, Adam Lavis, which is really surprising. There were people warming towards the Lambo towards the back end of last term. There's still a couple of them sprinkling around, I do believe, but just not here.
I think the Lambo might be one of those ones where most of those guys, they'll get a little frustrated. They've gone, we'll just go to the Corvette because it's another rear-engined, mid-engined car, so similar sort of style. So they thought I'd try it out instead.
Benny Lavender's also retired from the race just now as well at the end of lap 21. That takes the retirement tally to 7, ladies and gentlemen. Liam Braid a short while ago, Benny Lavender. This is how it happened for Ben. Lockhart Brownlee, the leader, 0.3 of a second to Broad. Porsche doing Porsche things. Front end crunch. See. We continue on. We've got 33 minutes and 50 to go. Down the inside goes Broad. Change for the lead here at the end of lap 24 and around the outside to finish the job off. Broad gets down on the inside of Brownlee. Brownlee goes to the outside and forces the issue on the run down to turn 1, but Broad's got the line. Brownlee goes deep, around the outside. Then he has no choice but to yield. This race is alive once more. They're bringing the leaders along. It's 6 seconds back to Gavin Simpson. It's then 6 seconds back to Mark Foster, who's gapped Josh Robertson, who's now under pressure from Perry Anastakis and Sean Benici. And look at Brownlee giving Broad the big hurry up. Down the Camel Straight. The weaving, the defence work has started. The gamesmanship, the tactics. And there's still 33 minutes to go. Franklin has snapped the pit lane. Brownlee tried to go around the outside at the end of the back straight, couldn't get it done. Broad back to the lead after bringing himself undone at the bus stop a few laps ago. Can Brownlee stay with him this time round? Time will tell. Brownlee's right there. It's a Corvette 1-2. If they argue the point too much, they might invite Gavin Simpson back into the fight. He is 5.8 seconds down the road. But what we're seeing here at the moment is the overtaking opportunities are starting to run out. That middle sector of the circuit, very few overtaking opportunities, legitimate overtaking opportunities. And it doesn't help for Brownlee that Broad's trying to make that Corvette as wide as humanly possible. Do they need to race this hard this early? There's still 32 minutes to go. Now it'll be Brownlee's opportunity to have a crack at the bus stop. They both got a good run out of the second intermediate. And now open throttle all the way around to the braking zone. Have a look at this.
Well, Brownlee, I know last time at the start of the race, Broad was able to pull a gap, so he'll be trying his best to either stay with him or get back in front to avoid that happening again.
Oh, he doesn't look to the inside. Broad forced the issue and said, look, I'm going to defend for as long as possible. Broad goes in. Changes strategy. So, the two leaders are on different strategy games now. And it's only been 9 laps. And again, that proves the point that you're going to see some different numbers here. Our numbers suggest that we're only 13 laps away from the end. There's 31 minutes on the clock. 13 laps would get us to about 30 minutes and 40 seconds, and plus that pit lane transit. So my eyes are now firmly on Tyson Broad when he crosses the line next. Then the mathematics start to get, calculated from there. We need to have a look at the clock and where it sits when Broad crosses the line next. That stop alone was 14.1 seconds. Add that to the 31, that we had. Oh no, off goes Robinson into the wall. It's a minor scrape, but it's enough for Benici and Anastakis, I should say, to find their own way through. And Anastakis still getting the hurry up from Benici. And next time by, my calculations are based firmly on the pace of Tyson Broad now. When he gets back to the line at 26 laps, car round on the grass. That's Kelvin Little again. Geez, how many times has the Audi been pointing backwards tonight? It's not been a night to remember for Kelvin Little. Shane Newens gets through into 37th position now. They are the last two on racetrack at the moment in terms of the running order. Everyone else beyond them is parked up already for the night. This is what happened to Josh Robertson. Uh-oh. That wasn't the moment. It was this one at the end of the back straight. Yeah. I thought, hang on, has he had a second moment? No, can't. He got a help. He got a touch. He got the smallest touch.
Get a little.
Anastakis in the Porsche.
Get a little wobble in the start of the corner there, which is what sort of caught out Parry out and then closed the gap.
I don't envy race control adjudicating that one. I think Anastakis had the line, but we've seen contact like that ruled differently before. All right, back down the main straight we go. Parry Anastakis and Sean Benici 4th and 5th at the moment. Josh Robertson 7th. As they make their way down to turn 1. Just by the by, ladies and gentlemen, since we're killing some time here and enjoying making everybody's acquaintance this evening, for those of you that follow me on Facebook and have seen my Instagram story this afternoon, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Tom Foster's got a good point there. I can't see them staying in Pro-Am too much longer either. And Dave's asking me the wrong question. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. I don't have one eye on GT3 Pro tonight. Someone from within the club will, but unfortunately, I'm only able to go with the resources provided to me by Adam Lavis, which is the timing screen that shows me the Pro-Am standings that you're seeing on your screen at home there, and also, of course, the pictures of Pro-Am. We will as soon as we get results from Pro, mate. Don't worry about it. As soon as we have the results from Pro, you'll have them. But yes, we're not as sophisticated a setup as we'd like to be. Imagine if we were able to sit in here on a Monday night and just bring you the Channel 7 Mega Wall and just go from split to split and just give you updates as we go, going around the grounds. I love the idea, but it's not as practical as it would seem. It's not as easy as we would like it to be.
Especially with iRacing's fee structure.
Exactly. iRacing's imperfections. There for everybody to see once more. Now, I needed to catch an eye on Tyson Broad next time he comes by the line. Can we just follow him towards the line when he gets there next time? There he is. And I'm just having a look at the clock. And I'm just having a look at the fact that we've got 26 minutes to go, 26 and a half, as he comes back towards the line this time by. Parry Anastakis comes to pit lane. Back at the 1 hour, 3 minute. Oh, geez, that's getting hairy. 44, 45, 46 second mark. So that's what, 26 and 14. And I said 3 every 7 minutes, didn't I? So what's that? 21, 23, 20, 25, 40. Yeah, it's 11 laps. It is 11 laps. From here, I believe. 23, 20, and 25, 40. Oh, hang on. I might have doubted myself here. Because that's 25 and a half now. I tell you what, we might just scrape in a 39th lap. And if that's the case, then there'll be a chunk of overtime attached to it. 3 laps every 7 minutes was the number I was running off. We got back to the line, like I say, about just after the hour and 4 minute mark. Every chance that we will get a 39th lap. The pit lane transit hasn't been as long as I might have anticipated. So if we get to 39, there'll be some overtime. Don't worry about that. But it'll also be interesting to see if everybody else is calculated for that. Maybe the guys that are doing 13 lap stints and stopped at 39, they'll be right. I'll be interested to see. Yeah, I agree, Denchi. I'm right there with you, mate. If we could have the mega wall going, we'd be in heaven. I mean, it would be a logistical challenge. It would require 3 broadcasters to be in here sharing screens with Adam Lavis. That's the long and short of it. And it would require iRacing subscriptions, and I don't have an iRacing subscription anymore either. So, yeah. In the meantime, we pick up Bobby Camo. Lockhart Brownlee's come back. See, that's the thing too. The pace of Brownlee and Broad and Simpson is probably what's going to drag this out to 39 laps. At the pace of everybody else, I don't think it would have got to 39 if it weren't for Brownlee and Foster. So I'm anticipating 9 laps in 21 minutes, and Broad's already come around and started 29. Yeah. Because there's the mark now. There's the 2:20 to get us to 21 minutes to go. So that would have been 10 for mine from here, but no, it's going to be 39. The pace at the front is just too good to get it to 38, so it's going to be 39, which says a lot about the consistency of these cars, Adam Lavis, and the fact that, I mean, once upon a time we would have talked about tyre wear, and once upon a time we would have talked about time falling off as we'd gone into the races. But that's no longer as big of an issue because these guys now can take tyres without too much of an invoice in their pit stops. So they can go and run qualifying laps for 90 minutes. So if that's what gets us to 39 laps tonight, then that's, that's testament to the evolution and the way in which iRacing has continued to invest in their modules, their models, and what they do, and that significant update a few seasons ago where you could take tyres and fuel it simultaneously in GT3 rather than being one after the other.
Yeah, so with the Enduros, they're going to be a slightly longer tank range. The fuel now covers the 4 tyre stop. Because you can see most of the full tanks are in the high 20s, whereas a full tyre takes about 22 seconds. So they can get it done here. The downside is obviously the plan is to go back to having the limited tyre set option. But unfortunately, at the moment, we can't implement that rule because iRacing haven't thought that through when they brought Tempest in, and they haven't designated there's a difference between wet and dry tyres. So if you limit them to one set of tyres, that includes swapping from wets to dries or vice versa. So if you have changeable conditions, then you've already changed tyres, you're stuck on tyres, which obviously doesn't work. So currently that rule has been taken off the table, but once iRacing fix that, we'll get that back in there, and that'll bring a bit of tyre strategy back into play. But for now, there is enough that so they can't do tyres at both stops, obviously, because obviously there's only one stop where you're filling the car up. So you got to pick which stop you're going to fill the car up and do your tyres. Because you'll see these guys in these next stops when they're splash and dashes, they will maybe take 2, possibly. They might be able to have enough time to get 2 tyres on, but they'll be mainly just doing a bit of fuel and getting back out on the track.
Remember, I'm taking my calculations now firmly off the fact that we're running with Tyson Broad, who has stopped twice. I mean, forget about everybody else that hasn't yet stopped twice. The pace is with Broad, who is the effective race leader. Proctor there in 11th. Barnes and Anastakis either side of him. A real good dogfight opening up there. Top 4 yet to stop a second time. So too Michael Edwards, James Francone, so too Bruce Barnes. So Barnes actually doesn't factor into this fight at the moment. Josh Robertson should be mindful though, because once Barnes removes himself from that battle pack with Proctor and Anastakis, Proctor and Anastakis will have a chance. They're only 1.7 seconds away of trying to reel Robertson in. They'll have some time up their sleeve. We've got 20 minutes to go. We've just completed lap 30. Brownlee's come across the line. Oh, jeez. Brownlee, Foster, Benici, 1, 2, 3. Broad's on his way through the back section of the circuit, the final sector. When he comes back to the line, it's, what is it? No. It's 19 and a half minutes to go. And as we said, 18 minutes and 40 is that 8 lap marker. So you've got about a 50-second buffer there to play with, which is extraordinary. 19 minutes to go. And into the final sequence of corners, the bus stop once more. We rode with Parry Anastakis. And into pit lane goes Bruce Barnes. Proctor and Anastakis have been released. So now they go out in pursuit of Josh Robertson. 2.3 the margin. Anastakis, will he push Proctor along here? Will he be happy to follow him, follow the leader, work with him? Or will... Oh, Robertson actually went wide through the first corner there, and that actually didn't end up costing him any time, but it's 2.3 Robertson Proctor, and if Anastakis pushes Proctor along, they can work together to try and reel that in. But it's no good if they start squabbling for track position here. What's of interest to them is that Brownlee, Foster, Benici, Piper are yet to stop a second time. And Broad is right there with Proctor now too. So Broad is making inroads on those that have already stopped twice. Those that are yet to stop twice and complete the splash and dash for the run home. Keep your eyes on Broad, ladies and gentlemen. The clock is with him. Parry Anastakis there in 11th at the moment. Broad's a quarter of a lap from home. 1620 is that cut-off area that I'm looking at the moment. Broad's now lapping in the 218s. 218, 289 last time round. He's fastest lap of the night. And Benici's come to pit lane now to complete his final stop. Brownlee's continued on to start lap 32. So it's a 16-lap run for Brownlee and Foster. Broad's going across the line now. 17 minutes on the clock. Chris McDonald's just had a monster of a moment coming round to complete another lap. He's had a couple of moments by the looks of this. Through the left-hander. This will be Porsche doing Porsche things again. 14 minutes is 6 laps. 16:20 is 7. So yeah, 8 laps from home. Because there's that 16 minutes and 20 seconds to go marker now. So yeah, it's all of a sudden gone from being most likely a 38-lap race to a 39-lap race, and comfortably. So the pit lane transit nowhere near as long as we'd anticipated, and the fact that we're only doing it twice, not 3 times, has also helped us go that extra lap. And also the fact that it's been bone dry every step of the way. We're past 6 o'clock server time. We'd be pushing 7 o'clock server time now, I'm sure. And we are still sorting out the minor placings. That's Greg Heating in 18th, chasing Brian Bullock and Brad Coates and trying to fend off Bobby Commode. Retirement listings now extend... hang on, Parry's parked up. Parry Anastakis has retired. Now, what has happened there? Chris McDonald's also retired.
Oh, Paz.
No, Paz.
He Austin Powers
Paz.
it.
No. No. We saw exactly the same thing happen in the real world 24. The pit lane entry was blocked. Harry Anastakis is out. So that now takes the retirement list to 10. Anastakis, McDonald, Kelvin Little, joining Lavender, Braid, Mason, McGrath, Matson, Schultz and Hennessy. There's the 10 that have retired from this race. Everybody else still running. And everybody else beyond this point, even if they run into trouble, get to lap 30, get to the end of lap 30 on your lap count, and even if you park it in pit lane, you'll be classified. But you've got to be in the top 25, isn't it, to get championship points? Lockhart, Brownlee, Tyson Broad. Lockhart, Brownlee, Tyson Broad. Brownlee's got out in front. Broad's got some chasing to do. Broad has got some chasing to do of Lockhart, Brownlee, and he's got 7 laps to do it.
Yeah, that bit of traffic has cost him, so now he's going to make up for it.
And it's purely the fact that they've gone 2 18s, 2 19s all the way. The pace hasn't gone out of the track or the cars or the race. And it's a one-way ticket for those blokes up into the pro split in the next fortnight, you would imagine. I mean, they've been the only 3 in the 2 18s all night. Mark Foster punched out a 2 18.9. I think that might be his only one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure top 2 is their first night, so they'll be going up straight away. Gavin, I'm not sure if he's raced before, but I'll double check, and yeah, he may also get a promotion, but we'll wait and see.
The pro split might be a little bit more populated next week. By the time we get to 60 minutes around, geez, where did I say we were going next week? We're looking forward to Nürburgring, of course, from one Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit to a Formula 1. Then on to Mugello for week 5. Mugello will be fantastic. Brownlee leads, Broad second, Simpson third, Foster fourth, Benici fifth. We're closing in on 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We've got 13 and a half minutes to go. 13 neat in a moment, in fact. Closing stages of what's been a compelling third round of the championship. 13 minutes to run. We're heading for a checkered flag beyond 7 minutes past 10 Eastern Standard Time if you're just joining us. Brian Bullock's there in 15th. Trying to go with Greg Heaney in 14th. Trying to hold off Bobby Kamoa and Eduardo Zamora. 4 different manufacturers in this fight at the moment. Extraordinary. 6 Corvettes in the 10. 2 Porsches. A Ferrari and a Ford at the moment. And everybody's pitted up and fueled up and topped up and going to the checkered flag. Oh boy, Broad's 1.8 away from Brownlee. Brownlee leads by 1.8 seconds. Last time round, 2:18, 2:38 and 2:18, 2:89 their fastest laps respectively. Broad's punched at a 2:18.5 that time around. We'll get an indication as to where Brownlee's pace is this time around because, of course, that was his out lap and a pretty solid one at that as well. 1.9, if he can keep that at bay, we'll wait. Oh, wow. That race is on tender hooks at the moment. Could swing either way. 1.7. How nice it is to get to the end of a GT3 race of this length and not have it being a demolition from one driver or another. We've got 2 in it, and they're 15 seconds clear of Simpson, who's 2 seconds clear of Foster, who's 4 seconds clear of Benici, who's 7 seconds clear of Piper. Under pressure from Robertson. Proctor is 8, 3.5 away. Edwards is another 10 seconds behind him. 5 seconds back to Schmidtke, who's got Frencone for company. 2 seconds then back to Snadden. 2 back to Franklin. 4 back to Heaney, who's got 1.5 on Bullock, who's got Zamora and Kamo for company. That's the battle you are watching on screen at the moment. This is on. I mean, we're on lap 34. We've got everyone down to Peter Foster still running. Hang on. Braden O'Loughlin is the first one a lap down by my maths. O'Loughlin in 26 is the first one a lap down. We've got everyone running down to Shane Newlands, it would seem. Shannon Fever has just retired from the race. So Fever retires in 35th, so that's our 11th retirement of the night. The attrition is 25% of the field so far. 25% of this field is parked up. Is there a sting in the tail? Will there be somebody else park up, falling short of the mark in the final 12 minutes? Remembering that we will go to overtime. We will have a slightly later finish than 7 minutes past 10 because we'll start the final lap of the race in the final minute. So it's a 2 quarter-minute lap time. So we're heading easily into the 92nd minute of play. Bit of injury time, if you like. Bit of stoppage time. Brilliant. Matt Schmidtke, their intent at the moment. I must say, credit where credit's due. We were talking earlier with Connor Nixon and Angus Law as well. Those boys were talking about their moment of grace out there on the racetrack at Daytona and a bit of sportsmanship. Race pointed in the bloke I was playing Formula 123 with earlier this afternoon. Finally got myself a PlayStation Plus subscription, paid for $90 or whatever it was. And playing with some karting mates from down in New South Wales. And any chance to wreck. Any chance to... Well, they took each other out at one point. It was great. Lockhart Brownlee leads Tyson Broad. The margin's steady at 1.6 with 9 minutes to go. We're 4.5 laps from home. Brownlee next time by the line will have 4 laps to go. Last of the pit stops appears to be done now. Brownlee, Broad, Simpson, Foster, Benici. And Piper, Robertson, Proctor. Then Edwards, then Schmidtke, then Franco, then Snowden, then Franklin. Heaney and Bullock, the top 15. Two battles inside the top 15 at the moment, worth keeping an eye on. And 1 4-15, Bullock and Zamora and Camo. You're watching them at the moment. Zamora breaking clear of Camo. Trying to keep Bullock honest. A top 15 spot on the line here. 2:18.5 for Brownlee last time around. 2:18.4 for Broad. It's not enough to reel that deficit in to Lockhart Brownlee. Corvette 1-2. Broad's led much of the night, but Brownlee holds sway when it matters. 4 laps to go. And there's 7 3/4 minutes on the clock. So that's about a minute and a half of overtime that we're awaiting tonight at the end of play here. The clock will elapse and then we will go beyond that 90 minutes to the checkered flag. Whoa, big moment there. That was Robertson trying to have a lunge on Piper. Wasn't close enough. Francone, 11th. Left. Round onto the main straight again. The race to the checkered flag. Daniel Piper up 11 spots. He's the biggest mover inside the top 20 with the exception of Neil De Bruin. Neil De Bruin up 13 spots in 19th. Outside the top 20, you've got 2 blokes up 14 spots. Brad Coates and Ben Goring up 23rd and 25th respectively. From 37th to 39th on the grid. Piper at the moment under some serious heat from Josh Robertson. Might be at risk of losing 6th spot. Colin Bennett up 10 spots as well. They're the only ones in double digits of those on the lead lap, Adam.
I think Brian Bulch slowed down through Bonchimont because he pulled wide in the last corner and let a few guys pass, so it's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, those slowdowns are a killer around here at on a 7-kilometre lap. No doubt about that. Oh, here we go. Dane Snadden trying to get 11th. Wrestling it away from James Francone. Not yet. Inside 6 minutes to go. say. About a minute and a half of overtime coming up. Oh, jeez. Madden's there. He wants 11th. He can't have it. 2:18.0. 2:18.0 for Tyson Broad. And at the same time, Brownlee punched out a 2:18.226. They're punching out qualifying Hollywood numbers at the end of the night, Brownlee and Broad. They've put 20 seconds on Gavin Simpson. And still Broad trails by 1.4. 3 laps to go, 21 kilometres, 1.3 seconds in this car race. You got Snadden all over the back of James Francone like a cheap suit. And Francone withstanding the pressure beautifully at the moment. Round they come again. Snadden can look back at that spin. Late in the second stint there. Oh no, Tyson Broad. Tyson Broad's gone. What on earth has happened here? Has Broad had packet loss? Don't tell me Tyson Broad's... Yeah. Oh, can you believe that? Are you bloody kidding me? What the hell? All of a sudden, Dane Snadden's going to be fighting for a top 10 spot here. I was going to say he could put down the fact that he wasn't intent. Oh, he's come back. He's come back. Oh, thank goodness for that. What the hell? We lost him. And now he's back. There's some very strange things going on tonight, Adam Lavis.
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you can go blank and everything goes away. But as long as it sort of keeps it a little bit on the lifeline, sometimes you get lucky, like this situation, and you don't actually get kicked out of the server. So he's survived that scare.
That is insane. That is insane. Because the first hint was that I saw Simpson jump up in a second, and I was like, what the hell? So the margin is 1.2, 1.3. Round onto the main straight. 2 laps to go. It's a second. It's 1 second. Brownlee to Broad. Broad 2:18.017 last time around. 2:18.0. He's nearly in the 17s. He could punch out those 17 and run to the line. Snadden's still trying to get by Francone. And to go back and finish that point, now that we know what's going on with Broad, and we need to stay here with the leaders for the final 2 laps, Broad is closing in. He's 9/10 of a second away. Brownlee's aware of his presence. The weaving begins. The drag race. The slipstream. The tow. He gained 9/10 of a second last time round. It's 0.8 the margin first to second. It's Broad pulling out all stops to try and get this one back. It's first and second on the racetrack. They were second and first on the grid. They've been glued to one another for much of the night. Dane Snadden can thank that spin for the fact that he isn't in 10th at the moment. He would have been there ahead of Matt Schmidtke, ahead of James Francone, had it not been for that spin. That cost him a good chunk of time. They're only a second and a half away from Schmidtke. But Francone is doing a good job of withstanding the pressure from Snadden at the moment anyway. Brownlee leads. Broad second. 1 second the margin. What has Broad got left in the tank? Can Brownlee withstand the pressure for just a little bit longer? 7.
Brownlee with a purple sector 3 in the final up here. That's a good way to keep the lead.
7 kilometres and 1 sector to go. They're going to come back to the line this time, and I'll see the white flag. Oh, will they? Is Barney on deck tonight? Actually, no, he'll be in the grandstand with the spectators. He'll be in the grandstand with the spectators. Watch this. They come back around onto the main straight. You will see him in just a moment.
Oh!
Barney will be at... Oh, no, Broad! Broad put it off the road. He'll get the slowdown, and that will be game, set, match, you would imagine, for Brownlee. Surely up across the start-finish line, the white flag's in the air. Barney may as well be in the grandstand. Broad and Brownlee are forcing the issue. Brownlee's got the advantage, and Broad has to bail out of it. There is your race. Game, set, match over and done with, ladies and gentlemen. Brownlee now needs to just bring it home to get the job done. We were waiting with bated breath for a last lap grandstand finish, and it's not going to happen. It's now 6 seconds, first to second. Brownlee leads Broad. 21 seconds clear of Simpson. This is what happened.
It's got a little bit loose in the outside curb there and just had no grip.
And there was nothing he could do about it. Robertson's all over the back of Piper for 6th at the moment. And this is what happened to Dane Snadden. Kiss it goodbye, Dane, in the wall and done. Wow. He drops to 19th. He comes to pit lane. Piper withstanding the pressure from Robertson. Camo's got Zamora and Bullock for company. 3 battles on track at the moment to keep your eye on, ladies and gentlemen. Probably a couple more than that, but they're the ones we're going to keep our eyes on. Dane Snadden's on pit lane. That's where he's not a lend, I would imagine. Right now, Lockhart Brownlee's a quarter of a lap away from the checkered flag. We're into overtime. We know that. There's half a minute of it done. No, actually, there's a minute of it done because the clock's moving twice as fast now on the game clock as much as it is in the sim server setting as well. So 2.5 minutes is actually 1.25. And Lockhart Brownlee is in the last corner now. Into the braking zone, into the bus stop. Withstood the pressure from Tyson Broad. The overcut worked to his advantage. Lockhart Brownlee, a name to watch going forward on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. He coughed on the line. He coughed and spluttered across the line, and Broad come home to finish in second. 0.48 the margin in the end. Are you kidding me? Third will go to Gavin Simpson. Fourth to Mark Foster. The margin in the end, first to third, was 16.4. But Michi was fifth. Piper Robertson couldn't get him in the end, 6th and 7th. Then Adam Proctor, the first of the Mustangs. Michael Edwards and Matt Schmidtke make up the top 10. We go back and pick up the battle for 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. Right now, we need to keep our eyes peeled on potentially a last lap gasp, a last minute dive down the inside. Zamora couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. The up and under onto the main straight. Let's have a look at this. No. Zamora will settle for 15. Camo held him off. Bullock in behind and Barnes behind them. How about that? Race victory for Lockhart Brownlee after 90 minutes at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. A checkered flag falling around about 9 minutes past 10.
Snedder got back out of the pits, but he's 21st.
Yeah, copy. In the end, we had 21, 22, 23, 24 cars finish on the lead lap. Adam Chiplin comes home a lap down. Ben Goring as well, Paul Wood, Colin Bennett, Braden O'Loughlin, Aaron Farmer, Peter Foster and Michael Latta. Lindsay Kearns ends up coming home a lap down as well, but he's still trying to get to the line. Shane Newlands has just got their 2 laps down. And the long list of retirements: Fever, Anastakis, McDonald, Little, Lavender, Braid, Mason, McGrath, Matson, Schultz and Hennessy. Well done, Lockhart Brownlee. 0.4 the winning margin. That was one hell of a night at the office. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, folks. As I say, we're here till about 11 o'clock by the time we get through the post-race show, provided that we get enough willing participants. I just caught my eye on the broadcast green room there. Ashton Ardley was sitting in there, but I'm not sure for how long because I've been looking at the timing screen. So if Ashton wants to come in and have a chat to us, we'll drag him back in. That ain't a problem. Because we'll get the results from the AM split and the pro split there for you too, folks, in due course. Broad had the fastest lap of the race. Brownlee got the job done. 0.48 the margin. So pole and second in reverse order at the end of 90 minutes. The first of 3 90-minute races this season. We're excited about all of that and what's to come throughout the course. The next 6 or 7 weeks, of course. We'll have reverse grid. We'll have heat race and sprint racing in week 5 when we get the Magello. Week 6 will be 60 minutes from Imola. Week 7, of course, Road America for 60 minutes. Week 8, sprint racing from Hockenheim. Week 9. Oh, we've only got 2 90-minute races this season, Adam. I didn't realise. I apologise.
Yeah, I did the 3 last season because we're trying to get we get the Nürburgring and a couple other tracks in there. So.
Okay, so we're back to 4 60-minute races, is what you're telling me.
At the moment,
I wish I realised that in week 1 and not this week. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maddie, what a surprise!
Not by much though. 90 with a good run.
Not by much, but I'm not surprised. It is Matty Dench we're talking about.
90 keeping him honest, and then Burhop in 3rd place, long way back.
0.8 of a second in the end, 1 and 2. Adam Burhop with a decent run, actually. He won't be getting flack for that this time round. And Ashton Ardley in for 4th. That's why he wanted to come in and have a chat. And I'm happy to have him now that we're getting into the post-race show. So if Ashton's around, mate, feel free to jump back in and have a chat to us here. Greg Heaney's here. Tyson Broad is here. And Jared Knight as well. I'm just manoeuvring things around here, blokes. The mouse, the keypad playing silly buggers with me. I'm just trying to sort things out. Braden Campbell 5th, Chook Fung Wong, Nick Wood, Colby Cowan, Ben Woods and Damien Cairns the top 10. 1 minute covered first through 10. 39 laps there as well. We go down Christensen, Hooper, Donaldson, Zagorkas, Yarwood, Brooks, Riddell, then Khan, Neal and Carr. How many do we have in total, Adam? Let's scroll on down a little bit further if we can and just see how many we had in total. 29 compared to 45. We had 45 start here, 29 there. So the numbers in Pro-Am at the moment extraordinary. Although I wouldn't mind betting that 2 of the Pro-Am split at least are being promoted going forward. They are namely Lockhart, Brownlee and Tyson Broad because they put on an absolute show tonight. We'll get to them in just a moment. Let me get to Jared Knight firstly because he's been kind enough to join us after the pro split race here. We've got Greg Heaney in the booth as well. Knighty, if you're there, mate, we'll have a chat with you first cab off the rank. Must be nice to come within about 0.8 of a second of Denchi.
Yeah, but not when you consider his starting position. And yeah, that's
Actually, we did hear about this from Tom Foster, actually, midway through the Pro-Am race here, mate. And he said that Denchi got caught up in rather miserable conditions in qualifying. You had to time your run and time it well, and anyone that got out within about 30 seconds of green flag running in qualifying got a clean lap in. Anybody else was compromised by weather.
Yeah, it was a weird session for quali. I think everyone had enough time to sort of get around and get one flyer in, but whether, I don't know, Denchi sort of missed the jump and the conditions were just a bit too wet or what, I'm not too sure because he didn't set a lap until right at the end, so not sure what happened then, but yeah, his dry running pace wasn't an issue, I can tell you that.
No, it never is. But for you, in the end, mate, second, and considering that it's a 10-week championship, considering that it's one on consistency, you continue a consistent start to the season. You're having a good run.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've missed the first round, and then I had an absolute shocker last week. So, P2 is nice, but I think life's just going to get in the way of a championship run for this season, so yeah, we'll just come in and push when we can, and yeah, if the results come, they come. But if not, it's not the end of the world.
If they come. Talk us through. Well, to be fair, hard to base this off only 2 weeks when, as you say, you've already had a drop round to your name there. But in saying that, mate, must be nice to be able to hit your straps over 90 minutes and have a solid run and bank those points, and that must give you confidence for if and when you can commit to a full term.
Yeah, I guess the silver lining was 8 tenths off Denchi, but then 25 seconds over the rest of the field. So
exactly,
yeah, there's not. I don't think I did much wrong tonight. It's just the freak that is M Dench just continues.
The Dench was too good.
Yeah. I honestly don't have words for what he did tonight. It was
he just finds a way.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has words for it either just yet. We'll find out when we talk to him in just a moment. But in saying that, I think I'm getting my wires crossed with GT3 and Porsche, because there's been a little bit of an improve in the uptake of the Porsche for you as well so far this term, if memory serves. So, I mean, 90 minutes around Spa. We've just had the 24 there. Are you sick of it yet?
Well, I didn't do the 24 over the weekend, so so I was a little probably less practiced than a few of the boys, but yeah, I think it's Spa for Porsche Cup on Thursday, so yeah, we'll get stuck into some laps there and see if we can maybe be a little bit closer pace wise to Denchi come Thursday night.
40 minutes is a completely different kettle of fish to 90 minutes, though. Different game plan, different attack, and different car as well.
Yeah, different car. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Try not to fence it is the first port of call, and then just be consistent, because it's I haven't driven it yet around Spa since the update, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Must be nice though, mate, to have the pace in qualifying and race trim as well. Yep, okay. Some people didn't get the good end of the stick there with the wet weather coming in, but you got to take those chances when they're presented to you. You got to make the most of them, and you certainly cashed in on that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I was the purveyor of the old Beamer for a while there, but we've found a nice home with this Ferrari, and I think this week it was the car of choice up until they popped the hell out of it for the officials. So, but yeah, like you said, you just got to cash in when you can.
Indeed. Talk us through strategy there, mate, because we know it was a two-stopper, but was it burn the tank dry on both stops for you, or did you stop a little bit earlier into the second stint?
Yeah, we burnt it dry the first stint, and then the Jaws music was playing with Denchi catching me in the second stint, and then once he got to me, I was sort of thinking of playing some games, and I was kind of hoping he passed me then, because I think he might have had a bit of an invoice to pay, which he evidently really didn't when he made his second stop. But we stopped about 4 laps early once he caught me, just to negate any extra fuel saving that he might have done. But yeah, he was just too smart. He followed me in, and just come out. I didn't come out with a big enough gap, and he just hunted me down, and I think he stuck some tyres on it as well. So yeah, just didn't have anything for him with probably 2 laps to go.
Indeed. Rightio. Thoughts on next week, because when we talk GT3 next week, we're not talking Nordschleife, but we are talking the Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring, and we are talking 60 minutes.
Yeah, I do love the GP circuit, and I think it'll probably be a suitor of the Ferrari and the Corvette again. We'll get stuck into some laps like we were with the 992, and see if we can take it to Denchi a little bit again next week.
Indeed. All right, very nicely done. Hey, very quickly as well, when we look at what's to come. Are you happy that sim racing continues throughout the course of the Olympics, or are you like me trying to find out exactly where you're going to squeeze your sim racing into your Olympic viewing?
Oh, it's the beauty of shift work, Zach. You can you don't have to watch it live. You got plenty of time to watch the replays. So yeah, it's not the worst thing. The sim racing. I know a few things are shutting down and whatnot, but we'll keep this going. The numbers are obviously booming with what was it, 40 in Pro-Am, so yeah.
Well, mate, I wish I'd booked in extended leave well in advance, but I missed the boat on that one, so I'll be here, but I'll have 2 monitors on behind me. Don't worry about that. 9 and 9 Gem will be cranking on all cylinders. It'll be terrific. Hey, Nighty, well done, mate. Great performance tonight. Looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table when we're back here on Thursday.
Yeah, cheers, Zach, and congrats, Denchi. See you in the chat.
I'm going to get to Denchi in just a few moments. Let me bring in the top 2 from the Pro-Am split in the meantime, and I know we'll have the Am split results there very shortly from Adam Lavis as well. In the meantime, let's get to Lockhart Brownlee and Tyson Broad as well. Corvette 1-2. In fact, 6 Corvettes, 2 Porsches, a Ferrari and a Ford in the top 10, folks, tonight. And these two just tore it to shreds at the top end of town. Lockhart Brownlee, going to start with you. Strategy play, you were able to leapfrog in the pit stop there at the end. But did you cough and splutter coming out of the final corner, or did you have a slowdown?
No, that was more or less just go, because I didn't have a livery, haven't painted up the Corvette yet, but Pice and I are in a team, so I was both drop bear drivers, and we didn't have a livery on, so that probably didn't show over on the broadcast, nor we were running the same livery. But just in a chat, we're like, oh, okay, I'll slow up for you over the line, have a photo finish, even if we're not in the same livery. But no, I had plenty of fuel, so
that makes it all the more interesting talking point here, because I mean, you two, there was no multi-21 orders. There was no garbage going on here. Sean Benici just making the obvious assessment there that you two were bloody fast. You were in the 18s right to the very end. Took us to 39 laps. We probably didn't expect the Pro-Am split to get to 39, and probably not had it not been for you two. But in saying that, just relentless pace. And the fact that you were able to check out and break clear of Gavin Simpson early in the piece allowed you two to just focus on your own race. But in saying that, you had some fun along the way, because you didn't let each other win or finish second easily. You held each other to account and you engaged in battle a couple of times.
Yeah. We never went in with a strategy of who was going to win. It was just going to be whoever comes out on top. Because we did Super 3 GSRC before this, and saw this was going to go live, and we're like, okay, we'll jump in here, have some fun, run the same car we ran for the 24, so already had a set and all that cooked. But yeah, no, it was good fun.
So you've already run the 24, and 90 minutes in comparison must seem like a breeze in the park, but are you sick of Spa yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely, yeah. A lot of laps around here recently, so good that this is probably the last thing I'll run here for a little while. So
I guess the only saving grace about our 90 minutes is that it was dry.
Yeah. I thought that there might have been some rain, but yeah, no, probably not in the Pro-Am split. I haven't run this series before, but yeah, I would have liked some rain. Would have spiced it up a little bit, but it's all good. Still won, so it doesn't matter.
That's it. Although that being said, I look forward to getting your thoughts in just a moment on what you think about being promoted in due course up into the pro split with the pace that you two showed tonight. I would imagine. Let's bring in Tyson Broad in the meantime, who did have the Drop Bear Motorsport name next to him on the timing screen here. Yours was still showing as none, but we'll get that fixed up, Lockhart. Don't worry about that. Tyson, well done, mate. Solid effort. But it's fair to say that the second last lap there, the bus stop, that was the defining moment. It was a win it or bin it or sort of moment. And unfortunately, you cut the corner. You paid the price with the slowdown, and that pretty much sealed the deal that you were going to be second across the line despite having pole position.
No, that wasn't really the defining moment. That was more just for the last more than anything. The defining moment came when earlier on in the second stint, I actually collected a lap car that I'd spun at No Name Corner and gave me a slight bit of damage from that. So yeah, I'd say that was more of the defining moment, just trying to manage my pace with that. And then also, as a result of that, me having to pit early and take one of the fast repairs, it meant I ended up getting stuck behind a bit of lap traffic and all that, which cost me a bit of time. And ultimately, that's what got Lockhart his gap, and tried to keep him honest throughout. And then the bus stop was more just trying to kind of put him off and put him into a mistake.
Yeah, that's fair. Why not try and stitch up the teammates on the fly? But in saying that, that explains a couple of missing pieces in the puzzle there, because there were some battles happening behind you blokes that were just holding our imagination and attention for much of the second stint. It wasn't until obviously the moment that you just described, and we didn't actually see it live, all we saw was that the gap had shrunk, and then obviously, as I said, Lockhart come out with a 2-second advantage after the second round of pit stops. So it all makes a little bit more sense now. In saying that, the Corvette, I mean, you guys obviously well versed in this GT3 caper. As you say, you run the 24 over the weekend. Lockhart's sick of Spa. We're sure that a few other people will be by the end of this week, because we've got 3 other championships visiting here, 2 of them on broadcast. But in saying that, give us your thoughts on the new cars, the GT3 Corvette, the Mustang. They've launched in recent times. They are a bit more prominent here tonight in Pro-Am than what they have been, or what we anticipated they would be in Pro. Where do you sit with them, and why do you guys go with the Corvette, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, as a GM man, I think I can give you my current thoughts on the Mustang. But no, it's we chose the Vet purely because it was one of the better cars with the current BOP package that we run in GT3s. So yeah, that's sort of the main reason why we chose the Vet over anything else. In saying that though, I'm not quite sick of Spa yet. And yeah, it's honestly a combo that I love, GT3s and Spa. So yeah, I guess that's all my current thoughts on it.
And I'm just having a look down here. I think we've actually lost Lockhart from the commentary box. I was going to ask him what his thoughts on the Mustang Corvette situation were, but no, we'll just take your comments and run with it, mate. Phenomenal effort from the team tonight, but obviously with that pace, it wouldn't be surprising to anybody to see you guys jump up into the pro split next week, or even the week after, to test you up against the top split of the club. Would that be a challenge that you guys would welcome with open arms?
Yeah, well, we sort of thought that we'd do this for fun, and yeah, obviously probably need to be promoted up into Super 2 and not into Super 3. Yeah, it was probably a bit too easy for us, so hopefully the guys can put us into Super 2 for next week, and I hope that they put us in the top split for most, if not all, the series that you guys do, because we're looking at doing a few of them. I know Lockhart does Thursday nights in LMP2.
Yep.
I'm actually quite interested in doing P Cup Thursday night around here, so hopefully you guys can sort me out in Pro for that.
The more numbers, the better. Yep.
Yeah. P Cup will sort itself out because it's a multi-class. Everyone's in the same server. Yeah, that one there, whatever you finish in the race, and you actually get applied in that session. Whereas the other ones, because they're separate servers, we just basically put you in the middle server first, or the league normal server, and then work it out for the next week. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So yeah, hopefully, I think P Cup is probably only one server. So yeah, that means that we won't have this drama of us two being out of place in terms of splits. So yeah, hopefully we can show that we can fight with the guys up front in Pro.
Actually, Daniel makes a good point. He's just chimed in here and said internet dramas for Lockhart, and that's why we've lost him. He's actually just jumped back into the green room now, so we'll bring him back in. But you gave us a little bit of a scare, Tyson, actually, closing stage of the race. We lost you for about half a minute. What the hell happened there? Was it an internet issue at your end as well?
Yeah, I've had persistent internet issues for a while with my internet provider, so yeah, probably another nasty phone call to them. I guess is on the cards. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just a small drama where it either blinks out for 30 seconds and then comes back, or it just goes entirely. So yeah, that's something I've got to try and sort out, but so far had no success in it.
Oh, mate, I've been there. I feel your pain. And as I say to a few of our guys on quite the regular basis, and loyal listeners will be ticking this one off their bingo card as we speak. First world country, third world internet. It's just an ongoing fiasco. It's quite extraordinary. Lockup, we've got you back now, mate. Thanks for coming back in.
I had my own internet issues there.
Rather have an after the race than during, of course. Well, I was asking a teammate about why the Corvette over the Mustang. He gave his views on it. I mean, obviously, you guys are running in a team, so it makes sense for you to run the same car. However, have you had a run of the Mustang, and what were your thoughts, and why did you specifically say, yep, I'll go the Corvette as well?
Oh, so it was more or less just because it's what we ran for the 24, but we actually did. It was about a week before, like when the Bob came out, we were going to run the Mustang until I started doing some wet practice in that thing, and it was just horrid in the wet. We couldn't get it to work. So the other guys were already running the vet for the 24, so we just hopped over to that pretty late. I think it was like 3 or 4 days before the event, which isn't ideal, but yeah, just using that because that's what we used for the 24. But yeah, I liked the Stang. Just yeah, if it was going to rain, I don't like the Stang. But yeah, I didn't know it was going to rain, so I just played it safe and went in the vet.
And you guys make such a great point because, I mean, there's always so many decisions involved in and so many factors to take into consideration when it comes to car selection term on term. One is the calendar, but now B is the great equaliser of, well, hang on, this might not be the best thing at this particular circuit, but if it's going to be a mongrel anywhere in wet conditions, then all of a sudden you got to rethink. So good luck to the guys that are persevering with the Mustang, because we're hearing that quite regularly, that the wet weather, oh boy, it's just an absolute handful. However, whilst we were waiting for you to come back and join us, Lockup, we're asking Tyson, we're expecting you guys to pop up more regularly now throughout the season, which is great for us because you're putting on a great show. I know we've seen you in LMP2. That was a good showing from you last Thursday night. What about next week when it comes to GT3? I mean, obviously, we've got 60 minutes to look forward to there. We've got some great racing to come from the Nürburgring, and then obviously we go into sprint mode at Mugello. So a real European flavour to the next few weeks.
Yeah, just if I have work or not, don't know. Might get called in, but yeah, if I'm free, I'm going to be running in this. It's a bunch of fun. Yeah, no, it's good, and yeah, hopefully. You were saying before maybe going up into the pro split, yeah. So probably won't be in here if that happens. But if we stay in the pro-am, I probably might see you a few more times before the season's over. But yeah, no, definitely the European leg will be fun.
Oh, no, just so that you guys, because anyone that's new to the club probably doesn't know this, but we deviate week in, week out. So we'll have pro split one week, we'll have 2 splits covered across the 2 sprint races. I think it's 7 pro races, 4 pro-am and 3 am races throughout the course of the season. So it just so happened to be that you guys were on a night where we had pro-am front and center. So yeah, don't worry, you'll still get plenty of opportunities to have a chat to us throughout the course of the term, and looking forward to it immensely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I haven't looked into, like, I've only just joined the club within the last week, so yeah, need to look into it a little bit further. Didn't know that, so yeah, thanks.
We love hearing that because we always talk about members coming and going, but the fact that we've had such an entourage of new members jumping on in recent weeks means that the club's just continuing to go from strength to strength to strength, and here we are, 4 years on, 4 and a bit years on from when it first launched at the height of COVID. and still it's now part of the new norm for us, which is a great degree of fun, and continue to go from strength to strength. Hey boys, going to leave it there because we've got a few more drivers to get to yet, but well done. Great showing tonight. 1-2 at Spa. Look forward to probably seeing you in the pro split in the coming weeks, and obviously Lockhart, we'll see you in LMP2 on Thursday night, and Tyson, by the sounds of it, we'll see you in the Porsche as well.
Yeah, looking forward to the Porsche, just as long as I can get an invite for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll see you guys then. Yeah, thanks for putting this on. That's, yeah, good fun. Cheers.
Beautiful. But there they are, the Drop Bear Motorsports table. 1-2. Cleaned it up, smashed it at Spa tonight. 16.5 seconds the winning margin in the end. It could have been a bit more than that. Had it not been for Tyson's slow down and Lockhart then slowing down for the form finish. But it was dominant, to say the very least. 39 laps in the Pro-Am split tonight. Let's, at this point in time, bring in the winner of the Pro split. And once again, M. Dench doing M. Dench things. The Dench mark reigns. However, as Jared Knight said a few moments ago, mate, you didn't have it all your own way tonight. You had to work hard for that one because you didn't buy the luck required to bank a number in qualifying when everybody else around you made inroads, made hay while the sun was still shining, and then unfortunately you got caught out by the wet weather, we understand.
Yeah, that's right. It was nice and sunny during practice, and then qualifying there was some sprinkles of rain, and I just got to an off track in the first two fast laps, just trying to make the most out of the semi-dry track that we had. And by the time actually was gonna get a lap in, it was too wet for slick. So yeah, we bottled quali pretty bad and started down near the back.
Because we were showing Pro-Am, we didn't get a chance to watch another Dench masterpiece. We were having some feedback, some comments come in, some suggestions actually for future nights where we have not got Pro on the broadcast. Your dad wants us to invest in a mega wall so that we can give updates from Pro from time to time. But actually, there might even be a more practical way to do that. Actually, if Denchi was to pass on his timing screen SDK link, we might actually be able to run the Pro timing screen adjacent to the. I'll have a chat to you off air about that, Denchi. Pro-Am time split was on the screen tonight, but if we've got access to someone's live timing that's in the Pro split, we'll be able to show you that. And give you those updates, ladies and gentlemen. We won't be able to show you the pictures, but at least we'll be able to give you some updates. There's an idea. A simple solution to an elongated problem. However, in saying that, Denchi, I need you to talk me through it, mate. Talk me through the charge back through the field and how you went about it in a racecraft sense, in a strategic sense, and what you did to overcome the opposition and just pip 90 tonight.
Well, I think I was seeing red from the very get-go, considering how qualifying went. So if there was a small gap, a small opportunity, I was throwing the car in there and just making hay and trying to get through that field. And yeah, we ended up catching 90 towards the end of the second pit stop. He went in right in front of me, which I was pretty surprised he did actually. It looked like he took full tanks in the first stop, so I had to stop because I was not going to make another lap. So yeah, he came out only 4 seconds ahead. I think he had like a 14 or 15 second lead once I got to P2 originally. So yeah, we managed to just save fuel as we went and run him down, and yeah, we just had to run him down again that second time. But yeah, it was a pretty good battle there at the end to grab the lead from him. So yeah, it was great fun.
Now that seems like a very un-Matt Dench-like performance. So because it was full send from the outset, qualifying numbers all the way through. So did you have any chance to do your usual fuel save, or was it just purple lap after purple lap?
I saved one lap of extra fuel in the first stint. Outside of that, there was zero saving going on. So yeah, we saved, I don't know, what's that, like 4 litres the entire race. So yeah, all that was in the first stint. Then it was just full guns a-blazing for the rest.
All right, very nicely done. So a very different performance to what we've come to expect from Denchi in the past. And how late in the piece were you able to pip 90, please?
I think I caught him with 3 laps to go. So yeah.
Oh wow! And what a performance that is. A lucky escape, if anything, Denchi, because these 90-minute races. I mean, last term you didn't even bother starting one of them, the Nürburgring at the Nordschleife. So it must be nice to be able to make that first poster winner this term.
Yeah, the season's going quite well. This time we've banked quite a nice amount of points, but yeah, we've just got to keep the ball rolling. So next week should be pretty good with the Nürburgring GP, really fun track. So yeah, hopefully we don't bottle quali there, and we can just have a good race from the.
I'm just having a look at the updated championship standings there, and yeah, you've got quite a handsome buffer already. So quickly, talk to me about your thoughts on Porsche this week at the same venue, because we didn't see after the Porsche race last week, and also next Monday night, the Nürburgring Grand Prix track.
Yeah, so I think with the Porsches, championship over there is pretty spicy looking. Every top 3 are all on 91 points, so yeah, it's quite close. And Spa, well, we've punched a lot of laps out at Spa over the past week or two, but yeah, it should be pretty interesting in the Porsche. So hopefully it can be a really good battle with a few cars up there.
All right, very nicely done. I've already had a couple of guys exit stage left tonight. We had Paul Wood was in here. We had somebody else in here ready to have a chat to us. Only Greg Heaney and Ashton Ardley remained. So obviously being a bit later finish than usual tonight, people are probably pressed for time and a couple of other things. So I totally understand that. We will hear from those guys a little bit later on in the season. And you must have been happy that it was a dry run all the way through tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect in the wet with the vet. I haven't done 0 laps in the rain around here, so no idea whether I have to change the wing or roll bars or anything like that. So I was just going to send it on wet tyres if it came, but yeah, we didn't need.
And far less traffic to contend with than what we had in Pro-Am as well, mate. Well done. Another clinical performance. Yes. Andrew Neal, Heaney always holding strong for the commentary. Absolutely. Greg's a regular here. He's the permanent +1 fixture is Greg Heaney. We'll get to him in just a moment. And good to see that his teammates are already chiming in and playing their part in the comments section as well. Thank you, Andrew. Danchi, well done again, mate. Clinical, a commanding lead in the championship now. And looking forward to catching up with you on Thursday night for the Porsches. As we say, that championship looking particularly spicy. So this round, very important this Thursday night. Go well.
Yeah, we'll catch everyone then.
That was magnificent from the Porsches last week. I mean, the championship so well and truly alive. If you've got nothing better to do on Thursday night, folks, and I suggest you don't because the Olympic coverage doesn't start until 10:45. Sorry, 9:45, I should say. Be here for the Porsches Thursday night. It will be top shelf viewing. The first 2 rounds have kept us on the edge of our seat. The rest of the season is likely going to do the same. Greg Heaney's here. Ashton Ardley's here. Gentlemen, thanks for waiting around and being patient with it. We do appreciate that. More patient than others. In saying that, extraordinary night at the office. I mean, Greg, and I know we'll come back to you because we'll get the full report from the Whiskey Business Stable in just a moment. Let me start with Ashton. Ashton, nice to see you back. And a strong result in the pro split for you, mate, in the top 5. Well done.
Yeah, cheers. I'm really happy with that. I got a whole bunch of practice before this, did the 24-hour, and just some officials. And I've always enjoyed Spa. I've always liked doing practice, so wet or dry, I've always had some pace. But starting P9, it was a bit packed at the start, but I managed to chip my way through and lost a bit of time to Adam on the last few laps on my last pit stop. Just put too much fuel in, overestimated it, and just lost myself a few seconds.
Indeed, and I mean, they're costly around here, especially in a race that goes caution-free. You don't have safety cars. and you didn't have too much in the way of people making mistakes. Those seconds end up being costly. We often talk about it, mate, don't we? That races can and will be won and lost on the pit lane, and if you take just a smidgen too much fuel, A, you're carrying a little bit more weight, and B, you've been stationary a little bit longer, so you hamstring yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I had Adam right behind me probably for about 15, 20 laps, something like that, ever since my the start of after my first pit stop. And he was always within like 6/10 of me the whole time on my bumper, and yeah, he just followed me through and managed to keep it consistent. I think most of my laps were at least within a 1/10 of each other, I think. So just all the practice has paid off and quite consistent.
I'm just having a look at the championship points here right now, and I'll bring them up for everybody at home very shortly. We'll run through we've got to go to the AM split results, and we've got to run through the championship points for GT3 as well. We'll do that before we get off air here. Stay with us. It's 11:15 Eastern Standard Time, but we'll make sure we finish the job properly. But I'm reading here, A, it's your first hit out in GT3 for the season, and B, the BMW. So let me ask you this: what's kept you away from the track for the last couple of weeks? Why haven't we seen you until now? And B, why the BMW?
I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot. I was too busy preparing for the 24 hour. It was just,
I love it.
It was just stuck in my brain. I just want to do well. But no, I was doing the BMW in the 24 hour, so I had lots of experience. I did try the Mustang. That was as quick, but I just didn't feel as comfortable in it. I knew that I could throw the BMW around and predict what it's going to do. But no, I just didn't go with the Mustang, honestly. I just stayed with the BMW. I was quick in the 24 hour, and that's all I really needed, just a clean, consistent race.
And that's important too, isn't it, mate? I mean, we talk so often about manufacturer preference and selection, and I mean the diversity we've got at the moment. But there's a lot to be said over the course of a 10-week period and the overall potential performance about the driver being comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable in the car you've chosen, it's a long 10 weeks.
Oh yeah, for sure. I haven't tried the Corvette, and I'm quite tempted to after seeing the performances in the 24 hour and now. But no, I only got the Mustang, so I'll give the Corvette a try, see if that could be an option for the future. But for the moment, for this season, I'll be sticking with the Beamer. I'm pretty happy with it, so yeah.
All right, very nicely done. And now that we've got you back on the grid, next week is obviously a big stop. It's the Nürburgring, and it's another 60-minute race. So after, you've missed the sprint races, you've got no drop rounds to fall back on. Essentially, need to make every post a winner. What are your thoughts on the Nürburgring?
Yeah, I'll do some practice, see how I go. I did get quite a bit of practice when we did the Nordschleife last season, but that was only about half the lap. Oh no, sorry, probably full, yeah. But yeah, no, I'll give it a go. And if you don't see me, I'm probably not busy. Just probably not very happy with my pace. But if I am, I'll see you there.
All right, mate. I love it. Hey, well done again tonight. Congratulations. Great result. Great way to bounce back. Great way to return to the GSRC server. Hopefully see you not just for GT3, but for some other stuff throughout the course of the campaign, and go well.
Yep, all right. Thank you, you too.
There he is, Ashton Hardley. Very nicely done. Greg Heaney, welcome into you. As we do that, let's remind everybody, I believe Adam Lavis has got an updated championship points table for us in Porsche GT3 Pro at the moment. I can read these out, can't I, Adam? 211 for M. Dench. Oh, wow. 54 points clear already of Rain Campbell on 157. Then we go back another 31 points to Nick Wood on 126 three different manufacturers in the top three. Eli Donaldson, 117. Damien Cairns, 114. The second of the Corvettes. The first of the Fords is Chook Fang Wong on 104 points. So 54 points already, the advantage at the top of the tree for Matt Dench as he goes out in pursuit of title number 11. Simply extraordinary stuff. Do we have AMSLIT results from tonight as well, mate? Or no? I mean, I haven't mentioned race results yet, but I can have a look at the championship standings and that'll update everybody. There they are. So Benny Brook got the job done. That explains why he was here ready to have a chat to us. Benny, come back next week. We'll happily have a chat to you, mate. I apologise. I hadn't seen these results. Phil Otto and Phil Butler made it 2 and 3. Jason Tierman, Sam King, the top 5. These guys got to 39 laps as well. There you go. 38 led by Benny Brook. 2:19.04.3, the fastest lap of the night. And Tristan Koch was 6. Martin Walker, Mark McNamara, Gregory Coughlin, and Corey Horter, the top 10. Championship after 3 weeks. Jason Tierman, 164. Ben Brook, 147. Mark McNamara, 135. Corey Horter, 131. 127 for Janish Ragwani, 125 for Greg Colgan. Ferrari leads Ford, Chev, Porsche, Audi at the moment. 5 different manufacturers in the 5. So Greg Heaney now in the Corvette. There he is from Berwick. Let's talk about your night, mate. I mean, we had you on the server here, as you see. Not a bad night out, but can we talk firstly about the fact that Matt Schmidtke flew the flag for Whiskey Business in 10th. You were 13th. You got the better of Dane Snadden in the closing stages because he come undone and clouded the wall. He was staring down a potential top 10 finish until a very hairy and fast spin in the final sector of the lap in the middle of the second stint, and that cost him some time. So 2 mistakes there, and all of a sudden he comes home well down the order outside the top 20 and 21st position, down 12 spots. But that was to your benefit, mate, because you ended up coming home in 13th and had to withstand some serious pressure there, both in the mid portion of the race and then also at the back end of the race as well. You had to work hard for it.
Yeah. Also, evening, boys. It was actually a very enjoyable race. I did say congratulations or well done to Andrew Franklin and a couple of the other boys I was around with. I think it was Andrew said he needed a new pair of underwear after applying enough pressure to the back of him and scaring the crap out of him a few times. It was a enjoyable race. You're probably going to ask me if I'm sick of the track yet. No, I don't think you can be. I'll be here all week. The motorhome's already set up somewhere on the infield, I think. After doing the Spa 24-hour with our guys over the weekend, we did fairly well in our split for all things considered. To get a 13th after having a 10th place start, but only thanks to Dane for giving me a bit of a tow around the track. Was I able to get that? Otherwise, I would have been somewhere down mid-20s, I think, off my own pace without a tow. It was just a good night of racing. Yes, there were some hard parts about it, and certainly some good racecraft shown by some of the guys around me. So it was very enjoyable.
Indeed. And also, I mean, what about the size of that field, mate? 45 starters. It took a while to find any sort of clear air out there. And that doesn't just go for the race, but also qualifying as well. We didn't see your qualifying session. We joined in very late in the piece. We believed that it was a drying track for you guys, and then the track dried out completely. But talk me through the early stages and just trying to find clear air, knowing full well that if you bit grass or kitty litter or anything like that, you were going to be dropping down the order at a rapid rate of knots and making a rod for your own back for the rest of the night. Thankfully, you didn't do that. You avoided that. But that first few laps, it took a while to settle things down.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, for us, the session was dry throughout. There was rain predicted. I think we had about a 49% chance it was going to rain during quali. We actually had a dry quali. It was a little bit hazy and foggy, but that was about it. No, it was you're certainly right about the if you put the car in the wrong spot, you're going to absolutely cop it fiercely and just destroy it. Like lap 1, I copped myself a slowdown with a little bit of a understeer moment across the top of Radion, and so that's why I dropped down as far as I did off lap 1, but still managed to climb back up a fair chunk to finish in a decent spot. So.
Indeed. The rest of the stable, I mean, that was a good result for Matt Schmidtke, up 6 spots. Obviously, we've already detailed what happened to Dane Snadden, and we've been talking about your night as well. Talk us through the rest of the stable across the board.
From what I could see, the boys did okay in the pro split. I didn't quite catch how the couple of guys we got in the AM split did, with Jim and Pavlo. I know they were on. I know they were racing, but I'm not entirely sure how they went and didn't hear anything from them. From what I can see, is the boys in
Pavlo with DNF, unfortunately, I'm reading here.
Well, may have to chat with him and see what he did. He probably broke the car at some point, but I'll have to check that out with him. Get him a new one. But no, it was, from what I can see, it was a good showing from everybody. Andrew seemed to be having some.
Jim was 15th, just by the way.
No, that's not too bad for him. He's still getting into the whole racing thing, so he looks like he's DNF'd as well. So
a bit of a night for your mob in there.
Yeah, that's all right. We can forgive them.
Yeah, it only happens occasionally. Absolutely, we can forgive them. But I mean, one of 2 drop rounds already burnt for those guys. Andrew Neal saying that he should have taken tyres, and that was a discussion that Adam Lavis and I had throughout the course of the evening. Didn't really talk to these guys about it too much, because it looked like for the long fuel stop, you were able to take tyres without any sort of invoice whatsoever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I inadvertently worked out 49 litres and you get the tyres for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the time I'd taken my first stop and got through to my second stop, which is when I took my tyres, they were hurting something fierce, especially battling with the 2 Mustangs that I was dealing with earlier on in the piece within the first handful of laps. I probably overcooked them a fair chunk, but still managed to persevere and push through. It was a little bit understeer on a few corners, but yeah, made it work.
Indeed. And obviously in the closing stages there, mates, you managed to fend off Bobby Camo and Eduardo Zamora and Brian Bullock, but it took a while to break clear of those guys.
Yeah, it did. There's my self-inflicted pirouette through through Paul Curve Paul Ferrer. But it was a case of how earlier on in the piece when I was watching Bobby catching up with the Mustangs and so forth when I was battling with them, he obviously got past the boys in the Mustangs, Andrew and Brian. But then it was a case of, all right, well, let's see how fast he actually is. And I'll give him credit where credit's due, for sure. He was quick. It was just a matter of being able to just get that little bit here and there around the track, and it eventually broke the toe that I was providing him in certain areas, and I was able to drive away.
What are your thoughts on next week, mate, and the fact that we go back to 60 minutes and we go to the Nürburgring, but not the Nordschleife this time?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be good. I haven't put the vet round there just yet. There will most likely be practice done for that probably Wednesday. A bit of a gap between everything. But yeah, I've got more laps here for tomorrow night, Thursday night, and I think then on Sunday as well with the Enduro for GSRC2.
Yes, too much Spa clearly is not enough for Greg Heaney in the Whiskey Business Stable, and we've just hit 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so we'll just about pull up stumps there. Interesting phase of the championship, this, of course, 2 sprint rounds and then straight into a 90-minute Enduro. Appropriate given that we've just come off the back of 24 throughout the course of the weekend. 90 minutes would be a breeze in the park, especially with the conditions not changing the way that they were in the 24, mate. How did the stable fare in the 24, if you don't mind me asking? Did you field any teams?
Yeah, we were in fourth split in the Saturday 8 a.m. session. We qualified 10th within the first half hour or so. Jackson Dial put us up to third, or had gotten us up to third. Slight brain fade. I think he just miscalculated where we had the car, and that put us into the fence with a chunk of repair time. Not a huge amount, but enough to put us half a handful of laps down. And then it was just, I think a few of us had incidents that needed repair, but we did manage to claw our way back to finish 12th.
Happy with that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Being that the split we were in, half of the field didn't actually finish. So just to make it through, and even no matter how many laps down you are, it's like, okay, you're not going to win, but at least finish the thing.
Get going.
You've put in so much time for it. I mean, we were going to drive the Vet, and then 2 days before we changed to the Ferrari. So,
happy. I mean, from your standpoint, I mean, what's it like now that you've had that time with the Ferrari, you've been driving the Corvette? I mean, two different cars or similarities? What did you make of the comparisons between the two, and how easy is it to go from driving the Ferrari all weekend back into the Corvette tonight?
Oh, to be honest, I have no issues with switching the cars. That's what I said to the guys. I said, well, I'm comfortable in both, but some of the guys weren't that comfortable in the Corvette, and they found it a little bit slower than the Ferrari. So we'll go for the outright pace, and we'll switch over to the Ferrari to settle the discussion. But yeah, no, look, happy with the end result with the boys. Unfortunately, Ryan Mulder did show up. He happened to show up around the midnight time of Saturday when the torrential rain hit. So unlucky for him. However, he did manage to get through his one lap, his one fuel tank stint with only 2 incident points. So well done to him for that one.
Not bad at all, especially in the rain. Oh, jeez. All right, very nicely done. And back here on Thursday night in the Porsches and LMP2 from Twin Ring, and looking forward to that immensely. GT4s here on Wednesday night, IndyCar Friday night, and as you say, the Enduro on Sunday. So it is definitely Spa week on the platforms of the GSRC. And looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the stable later in the week, mate. Well done again.
No worries, Zach. I'll get it right. I'll make sure I get it right. And thanks, Adam, for putting on the stream.
Don't worry, I've been called better words, a lot worse than Jack. Don't worry about that. Let's thank you, mate. Appreciate it. I can get away with it. It's 11 o'clock at night. 1 o'clock on the other side of the ditch. 9 o'clock on the west coast. 11 o'clock here on the east coast. I think that'll just about do us on a Monday night on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, week 3 of term 3. Very much up and away. We couldn't do it without the great support of people like Sprite & Cider, who are the naming rights sponsor of the club in 2024. Waste Options. Of course, merch.tgsrci.com. They're our good friends at Orbic Australia, of course. Good on you, Pete Matson. Lobesy Racing. Hello, Trent Lavis. And M-Wave Australia. And, of course, we wouldn't do anywhere near as good on the graphic front, on the livery front, without the great people at Flash Graphics. Don't worry about that. Let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms of the GSRC. I've just lost my Google Drive. They've all just frozen on me there. I think I might get them back, but I'm not sure how we're going. There we go. I've got it back. Excellent. Sprite & Cider, of course. Thursday Night Motorsport will be the next time we're on air. But before we get to that, we've got plenty to look forward to internally within the club servers. Tuesday and Wednesday night, Ritskoga Motor Centre in Norway for the Renault 2.0s as the introductory formula continues. And that's, of course, the third different car for them in as many weeks, and they'll continue to rotate until week 5, and then they'll go back to where they started. 3 sprint races, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, for, yes, oh, that's right, we're there for the bloody Super Formula Lights as well. Tomorrow night, 60 minutes, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. We're there all week. It's not GT4, it's Super Formula Light. I knew we were there for something later in the week. Sebring on Wednesday night for the GT1s in Production Car Challenge. And that's 2 sprint races from 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, followed by a trip to Magello for the GT4s from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, Mobility Resort Matagi, the third round of the Downforce Legends, straight inside of Thursday Night Motorsport, and the first one of the Olympics, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to that. Join Daniel Corriasar and I 7:30 Eastern Standard Time as we head to Motegi in Japan first up, LMP2, and then to the Circuit to Spa-Francorchamps second up. Yep, we go Oriental first up, European second up, Circuit to Spa-Francorchamps, 40-minute sprint there for the Porsches. We've already done one of them this season, looking forward to the next one, and that's 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. The Porsche Cup continues on Thursday night. Friday night, all being fair and equal, pending another worldwide global tech outage, we'll come to the Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps for a 30-lap sprint in the IndyCar Series. So about measly 210 kilometres there to look forward to. From 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be with Joe Baldwin for that one, having missed week one and then, of course, being given the bye last week thanks to the iRacing outage. And we'll work out what's going to happen with that second round somewhere down the line. Mountain Men Saturday night, Bathurst Pro 2 trucks. Looking forward to that, 32 laps. And that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday's the Enduro. We'll get to that in a second. Monday, of course, we're off to Monza to kick off week 4. We'll have Olympic updates right throughout the course of the night for you too, folks, from Monday night onwards. Monday broadcast, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Monza first up for the merch.tgsrci.com. Super 2 and Super 3 series. We'll bring you Super 3 by the look at that next Monday night, and that'll be good fun from 7:30, and then on to the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. Pro Split racing next Monday night from 8:45 Eastern. 60 minutes the journey there, and looking forward to it immensely. The Mountain Men, is that right? The Williams FW31. Wow, boy, oh boy, that'll be good fun. No? Oh, copy. Pro 2, yeah, I read it right the first time. It's just that we've updated the banner because on Sunday, that's right, Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, the venue again. Geez, you're getting sick of Spa this week, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that. You're getting a saturation of it. A smorgasbord of it. Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, the final curtain call, if you like, for the GSRC Endurance Championship. That will happen Sunday from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a 6-hour journey there for those that are bothering to turn up for it, and we wish them all the best of luck with that. The final hurrah, the last hurrah for the moment for GSRC Endurance competition before we turn our attention back to sprint racing on Monday night. So an enormous amount to look forward to. We'll see you on Thursday night. Of course, that'll be the next time we're on air. LMP2 first up from Motegi, and then the Porsches from here. Friday night for the IndyCars from here. And over the course of the weekend, we wish everybody well with Mountain Men from 8:30 with the Pro 2 trucks. And then, of course, on Sunday, that's race start. So service start will be about 10 a.m. for that with qualifying and practice and other things. Race start 11 a.m. through to 5 p.m. There's no broadcast with that one, with the Endurance Series. But yes, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the fifth and final hit out for those guys in semester 1 for them. But there will be no semester 2, so that's unfortunate, but that's just the lay of the land sort of stuff. And then, as we say, week 4, can you believe it? We'll be there in the blink of an eye, it feels, for GT3, and that'll be another Pro Split race broadcast for you, folks. The first of the 60-minute races for the campaign, and there were 4 of them this season. Back to how it was after 3 and 3, 90 and 60 last term. So 4 60-minute races this term and 2 90s. We won't see another 90-minute race now until week 10. There you go. Over and out, done and dusted. It's been good fun. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Lockhart, Brownlee and Tyson Broad, too good tonight in Pro-Am, but they'll be promoted very quickly, I would imagine, the Pro Split next week, and we look forward to seeing what they bring to the table there when we get to the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit next Monday night. Super 2 and Super 3 earlier in the evening. Super 2 completely and utterly dominated by Brenton Hobson. Not without some pressure in the early stages, but he withstood it and broke clear as only Hobbo can and as only Hobbo does. And we updated you on those championship standings earlier. Of course, it was Brenton Hobson leading the way by 54 points at the moment. So Dench and Hobson both with 50-plus point advantages in their respective title races right now. And Adam Lavis, as I speak, as I go to air here, working on the updated standings for Super 3. Did we get anywhere with GT Pro-Am, Adam? Did we get that finished?
Still playing.
Still working on that. Okay, so we've updated you on as much as we can. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we won't stick around any longer. We'll keep you updated with those championship point standings when we reconvene next Monday night, as per usual. And stick around once we do finish the Pro Split race next Monday night, as always. Once we finish Super 3, we'll bring you the results from Super 2. Once we finish the Pro Split, we'll bring you the results from Pro-Am and Am as well. We'll have Olympic updates rolling throughout the course of the night. Next Monday night is going to be super bloody busy. Tonight was as well. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Thanks for hanging in there and coming along for the ride with us. Week 3 underway. Night 1 in Week 3 of Term 3. Done and dusted. And we look forward to reconvening on Thursday night for the Downforce Legends and the Porsches, and then on Friday night for some open wheel IndyCar fun from this venue, the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, well done to all our winners tonight. Denchi too good in the Pro Split, and Lockhart Brownlee too good in Pro-Am in the end. We look forward to seeing what those guys do next week when they're all in the same split when we get to the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. For now, on behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, make sure, if you haven't already caught up on the weekend's events, Honda Indy Toronto replays on Stan Sport, replays from the Formula 1 Hungarian Grand Prix on Fox Sports and KO. And of course, don't forget the Olympics get underway Wednesday night from 7:30 on 9's Wild Motorsport. So a lot to look forward to if you're a sports fan at the moment, and probably go and have a look at the the NASCAR highlights from the Brickyard on Fox as well, given Shane Van Gisbergen's running the Xfinity Series race. Plenty of motorsport to sink your teeth into, whether it be real or virtual. We hope you're enjoying the ride as much as we're enjoying it, and we look forward to doing it all again on Thursday night for Sprite Insider Thursday Night Motorsport. Until then, on behalf of all the crew here, I'm Zach Caban, wishing you a very good night.